Ross, what's up, man? What's good with you, brother?
What's good, man? I'm trying to set up a little better to get some of that sunlight, so it's not messing up the. This is good enough. I'm good, man. Trying to separate the weak from the strong. You know, I was being very objective. There were some things I saw that didn't sit right with me, and as soon as I started just bringing up the small things that didn't sit right, not necessarily outright accusing their camp of anything, they hit me with a strike.
Mm-hmm.
They hit me with a strike. So that's good.
And that right there should tell you everything you need to know. That tells you that social media is in cahoots. That tells you everybody's in cahoots. People are trying to hide what is going on. Yes, we appreciate y'all coming in. We see 11 people already just jumped in. That's what we want to see, man. Make sure y'all donate to motivate because we're going to give y'all a great fucking live today, man. Ross, what else was starting to become disturbing to you about this whole thing, and why did you so eloquently felt that you needed to tie it to Miguel Cotto and Antonio Margarito?
Well, I started back watching certain fights where certain camps cheated. I started back watching certain fights where certain camps cheated, and watching people have reactions to power that they never had reaction to. Watching watching Broner cheat, watching Broner get cheated by Madonna, and
Yep,
then after he fights Madonna, he's no longer able to hit like that anymore. And
yep,
Broner and Madonna getting caught trying to cheat trying to cheat Floyd Mayweather Jr. Watching Margarito and Cotto fight,
mm-hmm,
it was very similar to the Bud fight, to where everything he touched, Errol Spence, was hurting him.
damn,
Everything he touched, everything he touched Jeff Horn with wasn't hurting him. Everything he touched Gamboa wasn't hurting Gamboa. Everything he touched Mean Green wasn't hurting Mean Green. But everything he touched
exactly.
Errol Spence with hurt Errol Spence.
That shit don't make no sense, man.
You know what I mean? I mean, I want somebody on Buzz side to tell me the logic in that.
Yep,
I just want to know, how do you go from struggling with these other guys to being able to hurt Errol Spence with everything you throw?
and he
Errol
hurt
Spence
Errol
like
Spence with
Cotto,
ease.
Errol Spence like Cotto are guys known for chins.
Yep,
They're known for having chins,
yep,
and a chin in boxing is your endurance. So it spreads
yep,
throughout. It's not just your actual chin; it's your
yep,
endurance and ability. These guys known they're known for having punching power. And when you look at Cotto's face, it looks very similar to Errol Spence's face at the end of that fight.
exactly.
But the problem
But,
is this:
mm-hmm,
the problem is, if Errol Spence had done this before multiple times, then it wouldn't be a shock.
exactly.
It wouldn't be a shock. But the fact that he's never done this to anybody on any level, and now you do it to Errol Spence, it lets me know that two things: that his camp is spineless,
Yep,
that there's somebody spineless at Errol Spence camp,
mm-hmm,
and it lets me know that Errol Spence fans are spineless because they're not even saying, you know what, Errol Spence didn't look right.
yep,
And so the least you could do is say Errol Spence did not look right, man.
yep,
The least you could do is say, you know what, Errol Spence, did he lose the ability to take a punch all of a sudden? The least you could do is
exactly.
say shit that we all know.
Yep,
Because Errol Spence was getting hurt to punches to the shoulder.
yep,
The first knockdown was a punch to the shoulder. It's one thing to love your favorite fighter. It's another thing to ignore Very, very obvious tell signs.
Exactly. Terrence Crawford has never had power to that degree. So all of a sudden
Hold
he
on,
hits like Deontay Wilder.
hold on. In Vegas, it's not legal to double stack. In Vegas, it's not legal to double stack.
Facts.
Somebody allowed that to happen. If he did
Yep.
do that, somebody allowed that to happen. It's not legal to do. So don't say it's. Oh, and this is not the first time I'm in Vegas. And don't say, well, it's because of the hand wraps and it's legal because it's not legal to wrap your hands that way.
Yep.
Double stacking is not having double galls. Double stacking is wrapping tape around your knuckles first and
Yep.
making your knuckles super hard, then wrapping a lot of gauze, then wrapping more tape around your knuckles, then putting gauze over the top of that, then taping it down. Basically
Yep.
making your hands heavier, not
Yep.
not extra padding. Floyd Mayweather does extra padding because he has bad hands.
Yep.
So he does extra padding. But you can't put tape on skin. You're talking to somebody who used to do this, man. And they paid close attention to how they wrap their hands of young adults, of adolescents and shit, because we could give each other brain damage. I
Yep.
know how it's supposed to look. So, no, it was something more than just raps.
Yep.
It was something more than just raps. And it's hard to say a fight was on the up and up when you ask somebody to your camp
Mhm.
who's known for PEDs.
Yep. You gotta understand, Victor Conte has perfected undetectable PEDs. He started the trend with Balco, but at that time, you gotta understand the technology wasn't what it is today. So there wasn't such a thing as undetectable PEDs. It was just PEDs. You just took them and you made sure you took them at a time to where you, as the athlete, you made sure that it weaned out of your system in enough time to where once you took the test, you were good to go. That's how it used to be back in the day. Then it
Mm-hmm.
went from there to where athletes were kind of just taking it close to the time and they were getting caught. So it really wasn't a his problem. It was just the athlete didn't understand the timing problem. Then, because it was his company and he was associated behind it, he got the flack for it because he's the one giving these guys doping substances for them to be able to be enhanced. Then he goes from there, then he goes to biogenesis. Biogenesis becomes more of a cellular DNA type of extraction. They give you like injections and stuff like that. That one wasn't all the way a foolproof because all you have to do is run someone's blood. So that's why if you go through a VADA or something like that, they can get caught. But if they piss, they cannot get caught. So you see, he improved it to where you can't detect it off of pissing, but you could detect it off of blood. Then he was like, all right, fuck this shit. All this shit ain't gonna work. So now let me just create an actual supplement, but let me create it in different strength levels. It's kind of like the pharmacy. What he just did, and he made himself smart. He became a pharmacist. He ended up getting, that's why I tell people got research on Victor Conte to see all this shit. He ended up getting a pharmacy certification to become a pharmacist. You know, once you become a pharmacist, you have a legal ability to create drugs. You're just like any other pharmacist. You have that legality license to be able to do that. So now he not only created a license for him to create drugs and shit like that, now he has different strength levels. So when you hear people say, "Well, I bought snack," no, the shit that you buy is kind of like when you go to the store. You bought that shit that was on the shelf. You know, to get the strong shit, you got to get a prescription for it.
And first of
So,
all, them doing snacks had nothing to do with an elite athlete doing snacks. You can't if you can't fight without snacks, you ain't gonna be able to fight with snacks. But
yep,
being able to fight with snacks is gonna make you that much more devastated.
yep,
So them bringing them stuff, people kill me when they bring up a personal truth and try to eradicate a global truth.
hmm,
Your personal way, the way you see life, don't mean a goddamn thing.
exactly,
That's just your personal one. You got to step outside yourself and look at things at a bird's eye view to see if you're really right or not. How you
exactly,
personally feel about something is not enough.
yep,
You need to step out of your feelings and add logic to that. You know what I'm
yep,
saying? So for you to say, so anyone to say a global truth is not truth because what I observed in my personal life is one instance where that wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
An exception doesn't change any rule. A exception does not change any rule, man. The
Mm-hmm.
Bi- the statistics say one out of every three black men in in the inner city will go to jail, and not because you see three friends and all three of them didn't go to jail. That just means there's three friends somewhere else, and all three of them went to jail.
Yep.
That's all that means. The stats gonna always add out. You can't say, "Well, in my personal life, that's not true," so it's not true at all. That's not how stats work. That ain't how facts work. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Now, I'm saying all that to get to this. I want people just to watch the fight again, turn the fight down, and just observe
Yep.
Errol Spence.
Yep.
Then watch the Margarito fight. Turn the sound down. Because they're not saying anything that makes. It's not like they're saying Errol Spence doesn't look the same. That's what they should have been saying. That why did Errol Spence look like that? Why is
Yep.
he getting hurt by everything? And they don't tell you the truth. They just bring excitement to what you see. They tell you what you're seeing. So turn the sound down, and you will visually be able to see what you're supposed to see. I'll give you an example. There's this old movie called Platoon. Now, when I was younger, I didn't want to go to the Navy. I actually
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go to the Army. But then I saw the Top Gun movie, and I said, "Man, I ain't going to no motherfucking Army. I'm going to the Navy." You know what I'm saying? But there's
That's
a movie
funny.
called Platoon about the Vietnamese War. When I was 10 years old, I knew everything about the Vietnamese War. Everything, the offensives, how it was won, how it was lost. I was the only
Mm-hmm.
one in my class that knew America didn't win that war. They all thought America won. But anyway, I remember one time I was watching it, but I think no. I was in my auntie's house. I was listening to music. I was listening to house music and shit. And then the movie came on,
Mm-hmm.
and I never cut the music off. I was just watching the movie. Then it got to the point where I cut the music off, but I never turned. I got so enthralled in the movie, I never turned the actual volume up to hear what they were saying. I was just watching it,
Yeah.
right? And by me watching it, I got what the movie was really about. So when I watched it with the next time I watched it, I was like 20 years old, and I
Mm-hmm.
watched it with the actual words. I could see there was a lot of propaganda. What actually happened in the movie and what they were saying with the words were saying the same thing. So you gotta turn the shit down and watch it, and you will see that his reaction to those punches weren't normal.
They weren't.
Because if that's the case, why Bud nobody else react like that to Bud punches? Benavides didn't react like that to Bud punches. Are we saying he got a better chin than Errol Spence?
Mm.
Think about that.
Hmm.
Nobody reacted
Mm.
like that to Bud punches.
Mm-mm.
They wore down at their time. They weren't already getting hurt in round two.
Yep.
Do you know how thirsty you got to be to want to see Errol Spence lose to actually celebrate that and not question it?
Yep.
I said shout out to Buzz for the win. Wanna know why? Because I had no proof that he cheated. I didn't know things didn't look right. But more and more and more, me watching the fight over and over and over again, more and more and more. Because before I like to say something, I like to get my facts. I
Mm-hmm.
like to be the Bible said let every man be convinced in his own mind. I gotta be convinced in
Mm-hmm.
my own mind first before I start speaking on anything. And the more
Mm-hmm.
and more I watch this shit, the more and more the fight didn't look natural. It didn't look natural. We was on a live stream. I didn't want to come off as a hater. I didn't want to come off as somebody who has sour grapes. So I held my tongue because Errol Spence held his tongue.
Yep.
But Errol Spence said, "You know what? Blase, blase, blase." I think Errol Spence just don't want to mess up the third fight. Because if he says that, they got to investigate all that shit. That shit gonna take forever.
Yep. And
I
there's a
think he.
great point that's being made there that The point was Earl don't want to say anything, probably because the backlash while the guy for speaking up. That's a great point. I'm gonna say this because I wanted to finish on the Victor Conte, and then I'm gonna go into what Ross is saying. So Victor Conte perfected with his pharmacy license the ability to be able to create a drug that if you want the best version of it, you have to get a prescription. See, these athletes, they're getting the behind the counter shit. They're getting the prescription shit. And if you notice, even Mikey Garcia, when he got there to go to the Spence fight, his body immediately had a transformation. Yeah, he got beat up and all of that, but his body automatically showed you an immediate transformation. If you're looking at all of these snack athletes, you're going to see they all look completely different once they start eating those fucking snacks versus when they were prior to the snack. That's just the way it rolls. It's just interesting how when Terrence Crawford was getting closer to the fight, and once the fight was signed, he went from being scared. How you go from being petrified and scared of Errol Spence to all of a sudden you got this calm about you. You're confident. And that's when I said to myself, okay, something at that time, like Ross, I kept my mouth shut because I didn't have nothing. But something about that didn't seem right. Like, why is this dude talking cash money shit in the press conference? This is a dude that's supposed to be scared. This is a dude that's supposed to be petrified. And then when I started reading up and they're saying Terrence Crawford's team is working around the clock with Victor Conte, that's when I said, okay. And then you heard that Terrence Crawford has instituted more closely snack. You know, they're making sure that, you know, he's having the top nutrition, the top supplements. I said, okay. I started scratching my head. I said, okay, something sound weird about this because this is a guy that went from being scared to all of a sudden he's confident. You can only go from scared to confident if you know you got that super soldier serum, dog. You know you got something that's gonna give you that added advantage, man. And that's what it was. This dude knew like real cash money shit that he had that added advantage. And then Bomac went from basically getting out talked by Derrick James to all of a sudden Bomac was able to find some level of confidence. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this camp? Because I'm not gonna lie, at the time when I was doing the series, they were low key saying some shit that was fire. And I'm like, how these dudes go from not being able to say things that are fire to all of a sudden they saying some fire shit. Like when Terrence Crawford said, you know, I was on Spence side. You know, I have that Kobe mentality. When I'm on my side, I won't acknowledge the competitor. I just don't do that. But in the back of my mind, I did say that shit was fire when Terrence Crawford said, "I'm gonna take my belt out and I'm gonna beat you." I was like, "This nigga, why is this nigga talking like this?" This is a dude that went from basically moving like he was trying to duck Errol Spence. He wasn't trying to go after the belts. He wasn't trying to do this. But then all of a sudden he's talking about he wants to take his belt out and beat him. I said, okay, you know what? Something about this doesn't add up. And then I had my boy that, you know, I was working out at Planet Fitness or whatever. He came back. We saw each other at the gym. Speaking to Ross's point about the rounds, he said because he was close to the to where the ring was at. He said Earl Spence was splatting out blood from round one. I've never known Earl Spence to be splatting out blood. He said blood was literally spitting from one side of the ring to the other. How can someone have devastating power like that if the round one to be having somebody spit blood from one side of the ring to the other? Deontay Wilder, with his power, Deontay Wilder is known as the most powerful man in boxing. You could say
Mm-hmm.
George Foreman is a close number two. Deontay Wilder doesn't have people spitting out blood with his God-gifted power from round one like that. Usually, when you see guys spitting out blood from Deontay Wilder's power, they usually start seeing it by round four, round five, these types of things. How the hell from round one, this guy splatting out blood? The only other fight that you could connect that to is the Miguel Cotto fight because Miguel Cotto was spitting out blood when Margarito was hitting him, and we knew why that was
Mm-hmm.
happening. Everybody was giving Margarito all the credit in the world, saying Margarito's like the most fire boxer. He's the best boxer. He broke down Miguel Cotto to come find out weeks later, they all had to take that back and rescind it because they had to say, you know what, his hands was wrapped, he was loaded, he had plaster in his fucking hands. The only way that you could be beating somebody up like that is if your gloves are loaded. I'm sorry. Because Terrence Crawford has not shown against Mean Machine. He has not shown against Juan Molina. He has not shown against Hank Lundy. He has not shown against Raymundo Beltran. He has not shown against Ricky Burns. He has not shown against Jeff Horn. He has not shown against Amir Khan. Amir Khan was his most best performance. And that's not even something to be impressed about. That was his most impressive performance at 147. And Amir Khan was able to stand at the end of that fight. And this is a guy that's known to have a glass chin. So I don't even want to hear this nonsense about a guy who's a welterweight, the most sturdy welterweight, known credibly to be the most durable welterweight, a guy who could take a punch, a guy who was in a war fight against Sean Porter, a guy who basically got hit by the kitchen sink and everything against your Dennis Ugas, and still was able to come back and punish him in the second half of the fight. And then all of a sudden he fights Terrence Crawford, and then from round one he starts getting breaking down. Come on, man. If people can't see that Terrence Crawford is not on a super soldier serum and he had loaded and padded gloves, because that's my stance on it, then I don't know what y'all seeing, man. To me, Terrence Crawford was enhanced and he had loaded gloves. Plus, if you go look at the weigh-in, Terrence Crawford has something pronounced that I've never seen him physically. This dude had a turtleback. I've gone and looked at Terrence Crawford's other weigh-ins. Terrence Crawford usually have these lean, angular type of muscles going into the weigh-in. He got that lean look. All of a sudden, he's bigger than Errol Spence, more shredded than Errol Spence. Come on, man. If people can't tell that that's not performance enhancement drugs, I don't know what that is.
One thing I realize is Bud fans are just as spineless as he is. So they won't acknowledge any of this because these people they don't win in life. This is their biggest win. Have you noticed Tim Bradley actually he beat Errol Spence?
Yep.
This win was the biggest win of Tim Bradley's career. That's how all Bud fans are right now. They were the guy who got beat up in school.
Yep.
Who didn't get the girls. who their girlfriend got caught sucking somebody else's dick. Those are these guys. So for them to see an alpha male lose like this, it's like everybody whoever picked on them lost the other day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if a Bud fan can admit Errol Spence wasn't at his best, they cap. Exactly. Off the real. They can't admit that, they cap. If they can't admit that Crawford never had power like that, they're cap. Just like the Tyson Fury fans. Tyson Fury never had power. All of a sudden, he has devastating knockout power against Deontay Wilder.
Don't make sense.
It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That's another case. If they can't admit that Terrence Crawford has never looked like that physically.
Never.
Terrence Crawford has never looked like that, like he looked against Errol Spence ever in his career. Now, with the third, this is one thing that's bad about the 6-month turnaround. Is it 6 months? Is August?
Yeah, 6 months. December.
6-month turnaround.
Well, not even. Yeah.
The bad thing is that Errol Spence don't really get to fully heal. But another good thing is he won't be able to cycle on and off drugs.
Exactly.
And this time they need to do valid testing. That's why I feel like this is bigger than just this is bigger than just the Crawford camp.
Yep.
Who would advise Errol Spence not to do valid testing? It should be valid testing.
Yeah.
They want this fight to be competitive so bad they made it lopsided in favor of Terrence Crawford. They wanted it competitive, so they gave him some handicaps, and now it was fucking lopsided.
Yep.
No, man. See, we got to stop living like slaves. Stop saying a man should not have supposed to tell the truth. You should always speak the truth, man. This society has broken us as black men. Spence should have spoken on sanctions. Why not?
Why
Why are
not?
we always, why are we always telling our black men who speak up to be quiet?
Yep.
Tell Kanye to be quiet. Now that Kanye is quiet, everybody's saying Kanye for the people. He ain't been speaking up.
Yep.
Told Spike Lee to be quiet. Now Spike Lee quiet. He don't speak up no more like he used to. Now everybody's
Yep.
talking about Spike Lee done sold out. No, niggas
Yep.
get tired of speaking up, having their careers taken from them, and getting no support from the black community. Vice versa, he should have never told the truth.
Exactly.
No, you're not talking about being wise. You're talking about being a coward.
Coward.
When it
Yep.
comes to the truth, there is no such thing as not speaking the truth because it's a wise thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you're in a society where speaking the truth is wrong, the society is wrong, not you for doing it.
Exactly.
Not you for doing it. All because it didn't work out in his favor don't mean he's the one that's wrong. It means the powers that be is wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
and then another thing I realized is people who don't have actual avatars that you can put a face to a name, they always just be spewing out shit. Cause,
Yeah, they're
cause,
full of shit, man.
because there, there's a lot of ambiguity. There's a lot of gray area when can't nobody tie you down to what you're saying.
Yep.
So I kind of take all that shit with a grain of salt. Like, bro, you don't even got a account profile pic.
Exactly.
You know you finna be capped so hard, and you don't even take the time to put your face next to it because you don't want to be held accountable for some of the shit you say. You might
Yeah.
say something that somebody might see you out in the street and be like, "Bro, you really said Spence looked perfect in that fight." You know what I mean? Like you really said this, you really said that. Like, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you lying through your teeth if you saying that because you know, cash money that's not true. Like it's bullshit to sit here and say, "Oh, Spence looked like even a regular version of Spence." Like, come on, like he didn't even look like that. Even he didn't even look like the way he looked against Mikey Garcia. It didn't look like the way he looked against Sean Porter. I mean, come on, like I don't even want to hear it. All I want to hear from Bud Man fans. I don't mind that you guys are running because it's like you guys are so used to catching L's. Remember, you caught an L with Canelo Alvarez, you caught an L with Manny Pacquiao, you caught an L with Vasily Lomachenko, you caught an L with Teofimo Lopez, you caught an L with Mikey Garcia. You've been catching so many L's that now you finally got a fake W, a non-credible W. You want to hold on to this thing so tight. And see, this is the problem with you guys as a fan base. You guys are not even classy about it. You're classless. You're like, no, we got the W. And then you're telling people that have content, that create content, oh, you need to close and delete your channel. Motherfucker, you don't have content. You're not a content creator. How dare you, with unmitigated gall and audacity, to say, close your channel, delete your channel? Well, guess what? You're not going to want to hear what I have to say. I'm going to keep the foot on the neck even worse to tell you what I have to say. There's not going to be no deleting no channel. There's not going to be no close no channel. You guys are classless. How can classless people expect you to be class personified? No, it doesn't work like that. You go low, I go lower. It's that simple. So the bottom line is this: take your fake victory, take your non-credible victory, because you see right now, the reason why Terrence Crawford cannot celebrate this win is because you have the uniqueness, you have the masterfulness of content creators like myself, like Ross, the real Marlo TV. Got to give him credit. And there's other guys that are coming out of the woodworks that are saying, you know what? Something about this fight don't look right. So Terrence Crawford, you not gonna get this win because you've never performed like this. You've never performed like a Superman. I'm sorry. If you performed like this before, if you showed this in other fights, we would have given you the credit. I would have first say, you know what? I could tie this fight to this Kell Brook performance he had, or I could tie it to a Sean Paul. I don't have no fight in any of your vernacular of fights where you can compare what you just did here that you've never done before with any other opponents. Even in some of the fights that were supposedly one-sided, what I saw in those fights were in the first half of the fight, you was getting out fucking boxed, you was getting beat up, And then somehow some miraculous thing happens in the second half of the fight. You wake up this dog supposedly, and then you get these guys out of here. That has been the MO of your fights. So how do you go from that slow starter? All of a sudden, you're a quicker starter than Errol Spence. All of a sudden, you have this high motor. When people showcase things that are abnormally different than what they've been showcasing, that tells you performance enhancement drug. It's like LeBron James. All of a sudden, LeBron James is 38 years old, but he can still jump over the rim. That's not naturally possible. That's called
Right.
performance enhancement drug. You've been
Right.
performancely enhanced. So let's just be honest
And
about that.
then one thing about coming online and not having a profile pic, and you could you could make up anything. You could say anything. I was this, I was that. I used to march with Dr. King. I was right there when Mega Evers got killed. Like, there's nothing to back that up. You're not even proud enough to show your face, so that shit don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, saying a man should not speak the truth that's a coward talking there. But one thing, one thing that had me perplexed is how is Derek James getting all these new people to train, bro? And why are you doing this during the build up of Errol Spence fight? Are you low key preparing yourself to be without Errol Spence? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I didn't like that. That I didn't like. I didn't like that.
And do you see the writing on the wall after this fight? Are you low key preparing yourself to be with Errol Spence? Because the thing about it is, why didn't you catch this? You're the trainer to the point where you're in the ring reaching for Terrence Crawford's gloves, trying to see what's in them. If you did your job as a trainer, you would know what was in them. You will know they were legit.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have to reach for the gloves. You'll know those gloves legit because you checked them.
This was his biggest fight of his career. Um, he should have locked in, man. He shouldn't have had all of this sparring with this guy, sparring with. He should have had other coaches doing that. That's the only. I respect Derek James. I like Derek James, and I want him to have a second crack. But if there's any critique, that's the critique. I agree with Ross 1,000% on that. When you are dealing with your number one fighter, the guy that got you there, if it wasn't for Errol Spence, you wouldn't even have these opportunities. You close shop, man. Everybody else, you say, look, I got this coach here. He can, he could be an extension of me. He can train you, but you lock in, man. You focus on the guy that you're supposed to be focusing on all the way. So yes, that right there, that's credible, man. That critique is credible, beyond credible. And Derek James has to go back, look at that. But I would want him to have a second opportunity to make right on that, because I know that in these types of moments, in these types of situations, even though with foul play and all of that, it's a humbling experience because let's be honest, he was kind of feeling himself. He got trainer of the year, this and that. Sometimes in life, we have to get off our high horse a little bit and get back into what got us where we was at, what got us where we need to be at. And now in this next camp, he can lock in, he can focus on what he's supposed to focus on and get the fucking job done. And that's
One
what I
thing,
want to see.
one thing I noticed, the reason why Bud fans keep up with all the narratives is because if there were just narratives, they'll just block your channel. They keep up with
Mhm.
them because they want to be there to try to see if they could slow down the truth.
Yep.
See if they can distract people from listening to the truth. It's kind of like when you see the Hebrews out there, when you see the brothers out there preaching. There's a group of people who come to listen to them just to
Hmm.
distract other people.
Facts.
They come, they be like, like you grown ass men be acting like children.
Yep.
This is what the truth does, right? It makes people who want to hear the truth draw nigh to it, and it makes people who don't want the truth to be disseminated come and try to be a distraction. But if you
Facts.
thought this was actually lies and cap, you wouldn't even be in here to listen. You want to be in here to listen,
Hmm.
see if you can distract somebody. But the problem with Bud Crawford fans is you can't refute the facts, and the
Yep.
facts is Errol Spence was not himself. That's not a speculation. You could look at him and tell he wasn't himself. Look at all
Yep.
the other fights before this fight. Did Errol Spence ever look like that?
Never.
Now, and Crawford wasn't himself either. He was enhanced. Look at all
Yep.
Crawford other fights.
Yep.
Did Crawford ever look like that, even against inferior competition? Has he
From
ever looked like
beginning to
that?
end. Cash money. He was looking cash money from beginning to end. And his face didn't get fucked up like even in his last fight against Avocado was landing punches on him. Come on, man, stop. Like
Like,
stop.
stop.
And even in that fight, there was speculations that his hands was wrapped and he had loaded gloves. Avocado, because he's a tune-up fighter, nobody paid him no mind. But at the end of the fight, he was saying that Crawford was hitting him with punches that's not normal. Like he was saying that, and nobody was paying him no mind because let's be honest, at that point, he's a tune-up. I didn't even watch the fight. You didn't watch the fight. Nobody was paying attention to this dude, but he was saying those shits
And
at
now,
that time. So you know what I think the Crawford team did? I think they used that tune-up fight to perfect their cheating going into the Spence fight. Now we know why they did the tune-up fight. They were going to prepare what they needed to prepare to get themselves situated.
this this live stream, I'm really not with any bisexual talk. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hear about any D Prince.
Yep.
Me personally, if you're not gonna add anything to the live stream, me personally, I could do without you. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? If you're not gonna address the facts that have been laid out, just don't even speak. I didn't bet any money on this fight.
I didn't bet any money on it either. I don't know
So
why
I
people
didn't
keep
lose
saying you
any
lost
of that.
money.
We're talking about what the people typically look like.
Oh,
Bud Crawford,
salute to Jarvis Spivey for sending us a cash app of $15.
salute. Bud Crawford has never looked like that physically.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Crawford has never had power like that. Even against lower level opponents, he struggles with everybody he fights.
Facts.
Bud Crawford has never touched someone and hurt them with every punch. So
Yep.
you're telling me that I'm supposed to believe
Yep.
that all of a sudden he's touching one of the most durable people in boxing and hurt him with every punch? And
That's crazy.
you guys have eradicated everything. Y'all said that you can't use the car accident. All right, so I'm not using the car accident. Y'all said the car
Mm-hmm.
accident had nothing to do with Errol Spence. Okay, we ain't gonna use it. That makes it
Yep.
even worse. So the car accident didn't affect Errol Spence at all. So Errol Spence is perfectly healthy in that fight. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that Bud Crawford touches him with is hurting him.
Shit don't make no sense, man.
Does that make sense? He spars with middleweights, light heavyweights,
Yep.
junior middleweights. They don't make him look like that.
That shit don't make no sense, man.
Are you guys saying that Bud Crawford got that type of power overnight? That's what we're supposed to believe? Just because you want to see somebody lose? And here's another thing. Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Roger Mayweather never got trainer of the year ever.
Yep.
With everything they accomplished in the sport of boxing, it never got trainer of the year.
That was on purpose.
I started the trainer of the year come with a lot more than just what you accomplished.
Yep.
So sacrifices probably come with that trainer of the year too, man.
Yep.
I'm starting to think they never sacrificed Floyd. Floyd never
Yep.
went into a fight with somebody with loaded gloves. Nobody never was able to
Because
get
Floyd never was trying to accept no bullshit, man. Never.
Floyd. Floyd was always surrounded by family,
Yep.
always that were trainers,
Mm-hmm.
so they never could.
Yep. Never could.
So you mean to tell me this man accomplished all this, yet his trainers never got trainer of the year?
Yep.
It makes sense because they never sacrificed him.
Yep.
I'm sorry. And nobody's off limits right now because at first, I'm a man of my word. I'm watching the fight. I'm seeing shit fucked up. But I'm like, man, I ain't gonna say shit because I don't want to ruin. I don't want to ruin the live stream. And I stand on this. I stand on that. Then I started watching shit over and over and over again, watching different angles. Watch how Spence took that punch, how he reacted, and then watch how he took the Lardy Lardy punch and how he recovered right away. Watching him fight Kell Brook and how he dealt with that power, right? Watching him spar Jamel Charlo. Then I started
Mm-hmm.
watching and Cotto and Spence looked uncannily alike when they were taking that punishment. It's like they were getting hit with
Fact.
weapons, not gloves. You got to be honest here, man. If you're a man, if you're a real man, it's okay. Your fighter won. You have to be honest and say something wasn't right about that fight. Don't you want to see your fighter
Mm-hmm.
win with the other fighter at his best? Or are you one? Are you those guys who play 2K on rookie?
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those guys who played Madden on rookie and dominated on rookie and shit, or made a team for the all players with 99% statistics and dominate and went outside like you was a winner?
Yep.
It don't matter how you win, long as it don't matter if it don't look right. The shit doesn't look right.
Yeah. And I'm
Nowadays,
against people that always say they always have a knee jerk reaction to situations, right? Just like Earl Spence has an opportunity to revitalize himself for the second fight, even with all of the fake and cheating and all of this ambiance, there's still realities here. The reality is Spence got to get his get back. But then at the same time, the other reality is Derek James should have the opportunity to get his get back. Knee jerk reaction is fire Derek James. People are actually making content like this. People are making content saying Derek James didn't properly prepare Earl Spence. It's always good to say all of these things when people are in a precarious situation and in a losing situation. But prior to that, when he was winning Coach of the Year and Earl Spence was having dominating performances and Earl Spence was always winning, we didn't hear none of this nonsense. We didn't hear none of this. Oh,
they
Earl
didn't
Spence
make it.
wasn't properly trained.
They didn't make it, but he hasn't. There's things in Errol Spence's game that he wouldn't have if he had a better coach. Like Errol Spence he's still throwing punches, with his
Mm-hmm.
head coming in first, then his arm.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves him easy to counter. He should have been trained not to do that already, man. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think Derrick James did get over a little bit on Errol Spence's natural ability.
Mm-hmm.
Cause there's certain, just watch the fight. There's certain times when they're exchanging that Errol's hands aren't where
All the
they
way up.
need to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, and he should already know that this and the third. But at the same time, there ain't no telling if he had the strength to even put his hands up where they need to
Mm-hmm.
be because he fucking getting hit with bricks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you watch the Margarito fight, you notice the Margarito fight looks uncanny like the Errol Spence fight with Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Now who's gonna
And
argue that?
I accept your criticism, and I accept it because you know why? It's constructive criticism. It's not that criticism where it's a knee jerk reaction. You're speaking from the sense of you actually watching the fight and you're seeing things that were not all the way together, and that's fine. Anyone that speaks from that position speaks from a position of strength. But when people have the knee jerk reaction to say someone should be fired, like the word fired nowadays is thrown out so carelessly. It's like you throw away all of the work the man did prior. No, it doesn't work like that. Now, here's the situation. If he was in on, and I'll be right there with you, Ross. If he was in on it, like kind of like with the Wilder situation, and we both
Somebody
was
was in
like,
on it.
"Hey, Jay Diaz need to go," I mean, I'll be right there to say he need to go.
Somebody was in on it. So many things
Yeah,
went wrong.
but we don't. The thing about it is with the hearsay, right? We don't have that particular information. So with what we have now, he should have the opportunity as his coach to go ahead and get the get back with him because he was there every step of the way while this guy was collecting all of the other three belts. He was there in his coaching every step of the way while Earl Spence was able to get um three belts as a welterweight champion, a unified welterweight champion. So he should be right there to have that opportunity when they have the rematch. The whole knee
Hey,
reaction of, oh, this guy right here needs to be completely gone. Now, if there's some report that comes out and says that Derrick James was working behind the scenes, man, his ass need to go. I'll be the first one to say his ass need to go. But until I have something like that, I would love for him to have an opportunity to be part of that rematch as well too. And I'm not gonna be of the mind that I need to have a knee-jerk reaction that he needs to be fired. Like that just sounds crazy to me, man.
me personally, I don't care if he's fired or not. Be honest, if he's fired, it'll be for a good reason. Errol Spence is not going to fire him off the strength of what some people say on YouTube. So if he gets fired, then I support him getting fired. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't, I have no. My thing is, he, who's in charge of making sure that those gloves are right? It's his responsibility, whether he defer that to somebody else or not. He's a head trainer. He slipped.
Yep.
Point blank. Period. Now, that's Errol Spence's decision to make. What he gonna do with that? And I'm behind him 100%. My thing is this. My thing is this, man. This right here has to stop, but it can't stop if we rest on our laurels and we don't point everything out. And we
Mm-hmm.
have to be so adulterated that we can't leave people out of it, even if we like them. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually like Derrick James, but at the same time, I don't know Derrick James. I don't know if he could be bought or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. What I do know is I follow somebody their whole career and they never look like that, but they have all family around them at all
Mm-hmm.
times. And they never allowed them to go into a situation where it was going to be so unfair. Like
Yeah.
Floyd was a B side many a times, but he wasn't the B side with a losing advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But in boxing nowadays, you got black fighters constantly going into fights with losing advantages. Danny Jacobs was just coming off cancer treatment, fought Canelo. Who allowed him to do that? That's an automatic loss. Your body not even the same again. You have to recoup like a couple of years after cancer. Think you finna box? Tyson Fury, Wilder. Wilder called out those gloves. They never made Tyson Fury change those gloves. Like who is advising these guys to do that? You know what I'm saying? I love the PBC. I'm for the PBC, but we can't, for the sake of the fans, we can't jeopardize the fighters, man. I'm still always gonna rock with the PBC, always, because this could be very well something that was tight knit, or it could be boxing a whole boxing big conspiracy. We would never know. What I do
Mm-hmm.
know is we did not see a fair fight, so anything's on the table. That's the thing about me. That's why I'd rather stay on a Errol Spence than say nothing. So I ain't gonna say nothing. Because once I say something, I'm saying something about everybody, nobody excluded. Because there's companies all involved. You got the Nevada State Commission.
Mm-hmm.
You got the sanctioning bodies who's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be watching everything. You got the cornermen who's supposed to be watching everything. So you got the Nevada State Commission supposed to have a representative in there, the PBC, the WBO, the IBF. What else? What's the other that got that bill? The
WBA.
WBA. They're supposed to have representatives in there too, watching everything.
Yep.
All this shit was missed by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If we
That
don't
means that means that means that means people just, let's just be honest with that. They kept a blind eye, man. That when things like that happen, there's a blind eye that was turned. And I'm on the same position as you. But when it comes to that portion of it, I've always leaned on the caution of it. The proof has to be in the pudding with that type of situation. Once it's there, man, I'm gonna be just as cold hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat true teller fashion as you are with it, and be like, hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Remember when we was dealing with Wilder and Fury? We both were on the same wavelength, man. JD has gotta go. gotta go, gotta go. Like it was obvious at that point because we started realizing that something wasn't adding up with the camp. The only person that I respected in that camp was Mark Breland, and they let him go. And that shit, I don't know. That's another conversation in of itself, but it is what it is. Um, for me, if Derrick James is directly tied and he's directly involved in any way, yes, he has to go. But I don't have no proof to say that. And right now, all I got is they lost the fight because it could also be this. Terrence Crawford and them cheated. Terrence Crawford had loaded and padded gloves. Terrence Crawford was on performance enhancement drug. And the same way that Derrick James has always trained Errol Spence, got him up to this point. And I look when I'm looking at the way that they're training or whatever for this fight, outside of what you said, and I agree with him training, Anthony Joshua and all that. I thought that they had a very good camp in terms of Spence looked good physically. His body, I saw the lats coming out towards the end. It was all the same leading up until the fight. So I thought like the training was there. Like they did what they were supposed to. Now, is Derrick James a perfect coach? No, nobody. I don't think no one in the sport of boxing is a perfect coach. You're right about Earl Spence's ability to lean forward and things like that. Was Derrick James kind of too comfortable with those things? I can absolutely agree with that. I'm 1,000% on the same page with you on that. But it's just this knee jerk reaction people always have every time something bad happens to say like they were the ones in that position to say, well, this has to happen because this was the direct responsibility of this action. Like that just sounds crazy to me. Now, if he's involved in any way, there's some fishy behavior with him, man, I'm right there with you. But if there's nothing like that comes out, this guy right here has been one of these respected coaches that has built up not only Earl Spence and the work that he's done with Earl Spence, but also Jamel Charlo. I mean, Jamel Charlo was a boxer that, let's be honest, man, he was reckless as fuck. He got with Derrick James, and the fundamentals got better. The technical ability got better. Yes, he goes into his little reckless rants, but that's his own personal shit. But Derrick James has definitely made this guy a more sound fighter when he does listen to the game plan. So I'm not
That's
going to be so quick to just write Derrick James off because of the outcome of this fight. I want to see how this rematch plays out.
I'm not writing him off. I'm just thing is you don't necessarily need a lawyer, judge, and forensics to know someone didn't do their job correctly. You got a
Mm-hmm.
job description, right? When you get called out at work for not doing your job correctly, they don't necessarily bring out film and be like, your fingerprints were left here. The forensic said this. Like, no, you have a job description, and they said, yo, you didn't meet this criteria. You're supposed to do this. The ball was dropped here and here. You know they're right. They know they're right because there's a job description. The ball was dropped, point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
It was dropped. Was it dropped maliciously or was it
Mm-hmm.
dropped because he was being lazy or he was overwhelmed by the moment? We would never know. But it was dropped. Now, people saying Errol Spence needs to go back to Blu-ray. That's up to Errol Spence to make that choice. But Errol Spence wasn't with Blu-ray when
Exactly.
he fought Ugas, man.
Yep.
Being with Blu-ray is not going to make Errol Spence be strong enough to take loaded punches.
Or PED punches. That's not. It's not gonna make it. It's not gonna change
It's
nothing.
not going to make any damn difference if the other guy is cheating.
Exactly. It would have been the same outcome.
And that's the thing, man. Um, the thing with a team is when the team start getting overconfident,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually had to get on my sailors about this. You get too many successful underway. When a ship leaves a dock and goes to another country, we call that underway, right? Every time you stop,
Mm-hmm.
every time you call it underway. You get so many successful underways under your belt. You get your guys, they want to cut corners. They want to not really pay attention when they don't look out. All this shit because they're super feeling themselves because they had so much success. But in boxing, this ain't fucking basketball. You can't have a great
Mm-hmm.
career and cut corners. LeBron James been cutting corners his whole career. He's still, as far as statistics, as far as he got the 4 championships, even though he didn't lead like that. On paper, he has a great career, even though he's been cutting corners. You can't do that in boxing. You'll fuck around and die, man. There's no time you could
I
take
got you.
your eye off the ball. There's no point. And somebody took their eye off the ball. That's how this shit happens, man. For
Gotcha.
one
So
person, for one group,
basically the consequence should match the severity of the sport. I got you, man.
right. So if one group cheated, another group dropped the ball to allow it. Because you ain't never heard Nevada State Commission catch anybody cheat. You notice they never catch anybody. The WBC
Mm-hmm.
never catch anybody. The IBF,
Never.
the WBA, they never catch people. It's only
But
the
they they
cornerman.
they always ready to get their sanctioning fees though. They never catch nobody.
Right.
Them
It's
motherfuckers
only the
always got their
cornerman.
hand out to get a check from a fighter, but they never catch nobody.
And that's the thing. This is a call out to all boxing, the boxing period, because it's only the cornerman who catch it. If the cornerman don't catch it, then it won't get caught. If the cornerman do catch it, and then the powers that be say, "Man, you're gonna fuck up a whole fight. This is a $60 million fight. Let that slide." And this nigga want to keep quote unquote winning fighter trainer of the year. He going that's politics. He stepping away that one time. He ain't getting fighter of the year, trainer of the year ever again.
Exactly.
Cause that's how that shit goes. That's how the media goes. When they have a narrative, you stepping away. Look at Kyrie Irving stepped in the way of LeBron narrative, and now they treat him like he's a fucking like he's a has been already.
Mm-hmm.
Look at who else? Look at Derrick Rose. Anybody who stepped in the way of LeBron James' narrative, they stepped on. That's how the media goes, man.
Yeah, they
And the
stepped on
media,
Kevin Durant.
right? And the media picks these guys awards. That's why I don't put no emphasis on awards. I don't give a fuck about
Mm-hmm.
MVPs. I don't care. Were you the best player that year? I know who the best player is every year. Michael Jordan's MVPs make sense only because he was the best player those years.
Mm-hmm.
They got it right. That I don't care about the media making somebody an MVP or making somebody fighter of the year. I don't see it with my own eyes. They ain't fighter of the year. But I did see it with my own eyes is that this fight from the moment, and I'm seeing this shit, and I'm hoping the fix ain't in. I'm like, nah, man, Errol's straight. But when he was doing his interview, he looked like he was high and out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like something was wrong with him.
Yep. That is true.
Like something was wrong with him. He had looked like he hadn't got any sleep all night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like something was up. And for anybody to say that was a perfect fight, nothing was wrong, that they the people that's what's wrong with this country right now, man.
Yeah. That means you blind. You blind as a bat.
Motherfuckers want to see a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see a fantasy, and when they do hold people accountable, they only hold people accountable that they don't like. That's not how accountability works. You hold yourself accountable first, and you hold everybody else accountable around you, whether you like them or not. Whether it be
Yep.
your own goddamn mama, you hold her accountable. Is she wrong?
Yep. Salute to Jaguar Assassin for the $5 cash out.
You know what I mean? It's too much shit happening in this fight, so for it to be simple and cut and dry like that. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people feel need to be held to the fire, man. And I'm going above just Derrick James. It's a lot of people when they get in their hands wrapped and shit, you can't see it because they got the camera just on that one person. But these are
Yep.
people who there's supposed to be a lot of people in that in that room watching them do that. How is
Yep.
this shit not getting caught? They're allowing
Yep.
people to cheat.
Yep. It's fucked up, man. And you're hitting on the point. And to be honest with you, um, there's nothing to be said outside of just the simple fact that everyone needs to be held accountable, man. Everyone's feet need to be put to the fire because when you have fights of this magnitude, you hope that the sport of boxing gets it right. But a lot of times the sport of
Devontae
boxing will
Adams
go
say
off of money.
Devontae Adams said he sent you 20.
Oh, you said he sent me 20? Okay,
Yep.
salute to Devontae Adams for sending $20 cash app. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, you expect in the sport of boxing, you expect them to get it right. This is one of those moments where Earl should have had his coming out party. And that's the part that I'm mad about. The sport is so gun ho on making money that they're not caring about the fact that if things were just done on a plain level, equally or even playing level, then the actual fighter that should be winning the fight would win the fucking fight. But because of the fact that you have bilateral contracts put in place, and I know me and Ross, we didn't want to entertain that, but there was a brief conversation that the both of us had. I remember it was only like 5 minutes, and then we both shut each other down. Was like, man, you know what? We don't even want to allow our brains to go there, because if we allow our brains to go there, then you already know how it is with us. Because then it's like Wilder and Fury all over again. So we kind of shut each other down. But it was interesting that we both still had that nuance in our minds that shit, hold up, they signed a what? A bilateral deal? Like, so if someone stops someone or someone definitively beat someone up, they still got to run it back again? Yeah, something about that don't sound right. We quickly said that, and then we quickly shut our minds off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then look what ends up happening. Look at the outcome of this fucking fight. And it's just like now it's like fuck all over again. Cause we seen this shit with Wilder and Fury all over again. And we know how this shit works. Spence wins the rematch. What you think that's gonna be? You think this is gonna stop there? Come on, people can't be that damn stupid.
Right.
Now they're gonna build it and they're gonna say, well, somebody needs to be the victor. So now you're gonna have a fucking trilogy, man. That's how this shit works.
Yep.
And boxing, here's the thing. Boxing, it's an indictment on boxing fans because boxing really think boxing fans are that stupid. Like it's like they're basically doing this, and their mind is, we don't care about y'all. We just want y'all money. Like, we know that y'all not that bright. Y'all just want to see good fights. Y'all just want to see great fights. So we're just gonna put everything in front of y'all and hope to see if y'all gonna accept it or not. That's what they did with Canelo and Charlo. Boxing again said, okay, these dummies just want to see a Charlo name attached to fucking Canelo. We don't care. We don't care what kind of Charlo it is. We just care that you get a fight, you get a name that sounds like it's a good name, and then we give you some stupid title. We say undisputed versus undisputed, when in actuality, no fighters are really gonna lose fucking belts. And
Or
when we have both of these guys fight. Like
Canelo's
boxing,
belts
really
are
think boxing fans are that dumb.
Canelo belts are up for grabs, but they're not really up for grabs when you fight somebody 2 weight classes below you, moving up. So if he was to lose that fight, he would lose undisputed. But he should not lose that fight. Canelo should dominate that fight. And if he doesn't, he's the overrated motherfucker I've been saying he is. But back to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. What Terrence Crawford fans can't say is that Errol Spence looked the normal.
Yep.
So they could gaslight, they could come in and try to distract people from the truth. Me personally, if I was a Terrence Bud Crawford fan, I wouldn't even be in here. Because what I'm in here for.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I will only be in here to try to distract people from the truth.
Yep.
But the truth of the matter is, Errol Spence did look tired already before the fight began. Let's be honest. Go back and watch the fight. Go back and watch the interviews. Terrence, Errol Spence don't look right. Errol Spence did not look like himself. He didn't have any balance whatsoever.
There was no balance. No, he had no legs, man. No
He
legs.
didn't have any balance whatsoever.
He didn't do his normal. He didn't do his normal warm ups that he always do in the back. He was actually sitting down while Crawford was warming up. Like, there was just a lot of nuances that was weird.
It, people have to understand. People got to understand that the responses coming from the other side, there are people who never won in life.
Exactly.
So they attach themselves to someone who reminds themselves, who reminds them of themselves, and they don't care how that person wins.
Yep.
Look at LeBron James fans. They don't give a fuck that LeBron James wins on super teams. They don't
Yep.
care because they never won anything. And if they
Yep.
could, they would play on a super team too, just to say they're winners. But anybody who
Yep.
watched that fight, who's just missing what they saw, like, like it doesn't really matter. Blah, blah, blah. No, it matters because that nigga could have died in there, man.
Exactly.
That's
And look
why
at
it
his
matters.
face. Look at his
If you think
face.
that was, if you think that was normal, if you think Spence all of a sudden can't take punches, he ain't in there with fucking Marvin Hagler. He's in there
Mm-mm.
with Bud, who struggled fucking
If
12
Spence,
rounds with
if
Bud.
Spence was in there with, I'm gonna go as far as to say this, Ross. If he was in there with Canelo and he looked like that, that would be more. It would be more realistic. Why?
It
Canelo's a
made more
bigger guy.
sense.
He's a bigger guy.
People be using, they be using words, they be using words they don't even know the definition to. What's the definition to delusion? What's the definition to delusional? And then after you tell me that, tell me how does anything we say that lines up with boxing? Boxing damn near 200 years old. How does anything we saying not line up with 200 years of history that we know about boxing? That a
Exactly.
fighter don't all of a sudden lose everything.
Yep.
They all of a sudden forget how to block. They all of a sudden can't take any punches.
Yep.
Don't have any balance to where they're getting pushed off balance. They're not strong all of a sudden. He was getting pushed around.
And all of a sudden, you got power. Like power's God gifted. You don't just get power.
Now
I'm sorry.
he has legitimate welterweight power, but that's not welterweight power. What you saw,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
a middleweight, a light heavyweight would hurt a welterweight every time they touch him, like a solid like boxer would hurt him. That's like power. He would have to be like 200 pounds heavier to have that type of power that he had in that fight. To
Exactly.
where the nigga's face is swollen up instantly, and they're flush and they're spitting out blood after the first round. Who has ever done Spence like that? So you mean to tell me Spence lost everything overnight?
It's
You know
ridiculous,
what I'm
man.
saying? Just be honest. You've never been a part of a winning team, right? And you feel good. You finally got something right. It don't affect your real life, but in your imaginary metaverse life, you're winning with Terrence Bud Crawford. And by any means, it don't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
In any means, it don't really matter. Um, and I can't say that Errol Spence is not what we thought he was, because how can you say a three belt unified champion is not what we think he is
Exactly.
when he beat the best competition at welterweight? And then all of a sudden he don't look like that. It will make more sense if you just was honest, say, you know what, Spence didn't look like he normally looks. But to
Yeah.
say, oh, all those fights, Spence was never good. So you're basically back at square one and saying Bud ain't beat nobody.
Exactly.
So if Spence never looked good at all those fights, who did Bud beat?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have it both ways. You can't say Spence was never that good, but then give Bud credit for beating him. So either he was that good, and all of a sudden he wasn't that good for one night, or he was never that good. But you can't have it both, because now
Mm-hmm.
you're basically, so what we're saying is Bud still ain't fought nobody.
Exactly. He still
That's
fought
what
tomato
we're saying.
cans. He still fought Uber drivers. He still fought Lyft drivers. He still fought tomato cans, man. I don't care what anybody tell me. Nobody can tell me Raymundo Beltran
Right.
give Terrence Crawford more of a fight than Earl Spence. That's bullshit. That's utter bullshit, man.
And in December, if he looks the same to where everything that Crawford hits him with hurts him, I'll be saying the same thing because
Yep.
Crawford never had that type of power.
He never had that kind of power. Never.
That's like a suit. That's like basically like a heavyweight.
Yep.
He's like he's in there with a heavyweight. Crawford never hit that hard.
If anything, that you know what that does, that just reconfirms the whole snack argument. Like, damn, Victor Conte is really giving him good cocktail. That's what it's telling me. That cocktail's working. He's giving him that extra shit. He's spiking him up real good. That's what it's telling me because Terrence
Now,
Crawford known from every fight to start slow, get touched up. Heck, in the fight against Kell Brook, Terrence Crawford's eye was already showcasing that it was getting it looked like his eyes was getting ready to close. Like Terrence Crawford always gets touched up in every fight. How did he not get touched up in this fight? How did he come out looking like Pretty Boy Floyd? Like, come on, man. The guy's so defensively irresponsible. How's he not getting no punches land on him? It's ridiculous, man. They made this guy seem like he was steps faster. Yes, he's athletic, but he's not way faster than Errol Spence. And I don't want to hear this whole level up and this and that and all this nonsense. The thing is most people have not gotten a lot of victories in their lives. They finally saw a fight to where they are regurgitated fans. I keep saying that they're not Terrence Crawford fans. They're regurgitated fans. They're mad that Canelo lost. They're mad that Manny Pacquiao lost. They're mad that Teofimo Lopez lost. They're mad that Vasily Lomachenko lost. And they needed a W, man. And they desperately needed it. So really, are they Bud fans or are they just Errol Spence haters? Because that's what I'm getting more of. More of they just hated this guy for being quote unquote the truth, and they just wanted to see him in a compromising situation. People are celebrating that more than Terrence Crawford winning because they're not really talking about Terrence Crawford winning. They're talking about, oh, you see, Spence. Celebrate your dude, and if you really supporting the dude, you don't need to keep pumping your chest to let us know that the guy won. Just celebrate it. Like we'll
okay,
know.
yeah, let me address something right quick.
Go
Because
ahead.
a man says he has no excuse and he just wants another opportunity, doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have an excuse. It's called
Mm-hmm.
being a man. You never been at a job and they ask you why you was well, I was in the military. When they ask you why you was late, that's a rhetorical question.
Exactly.
They don't care why you was late because there's no excuse for being late. So
Mm-hmm.
the correct answer is I have no excuse. So you could have
Salute to
got
Marquise
you
for
could
the
you could
$30 cash app. Salute to
you
Marquise for the $30 cash app.
you could have legit got caught in real traffic out of nowhere, but that's no excuse. And if
Mm-hmm.
you raise a certain way, you won't make an excuse. That don't mean there's not logical reasons. That don't mean there's not logical reasons. But you know what happens? That Errol Spence said, you know what? His gloves felt like bricks in there. Do you know what that does to the rest of the fights?
Mm-hmm.
They get held up until they do a whole fucking investigation.
Exactly.
They get held up. But don't be surprised if there's VADA testing this
Mm-hmm.
next fight. Don't be surprised if they're paying more close attention to the gloves. So we can't
And then that's when we by you saying all of that, that's when we gonna know it was fishy as fuck.
we can't have we can't have we can't have rose colored glasses when we want to have
Mm-hmm.
them on, and then have 20/20 vision glasses when we want to see something that of a fighter who we don't root for. So we
Great
can't
point.
sit here and say, but Crawford,
Ross, go ahead. I'm gonna get this DoorDash order.
we can't sit here and say, but Crawford looked good and say nothing was wrong with Errol Spence because Errol Spence has vehemently come out and labeled everything that was wrong with him. What's going to happen if he does? Aren't you guys just going to deny it anyway? When you can see it yourself, anybody who can see the fight knows something was wrong with Errol Spence. So why would he come out and say it? What did y'all do to Deontay Wilder? They showed the actual slow motion of Tyson Fury's gloves flapping. Gloves don't flap in fights. You would know that if you got into a fight with gloves. Bud always wraps his own hands. I think it's more than a wrap. So I think it was the actual gloves. Um, but you would notice if you actually get into a fight with gloves, you will notice that gloves don't flap, and you will notice that if your hands are properly in the gloves, when you look down here, right here, you're gonna see if it's not wrapped up, you're gonna see skin. You're not gonna see knuckles in that part where you could look through. He was punching with his knuckles in the inside of the glove. Like all these things are common sense. You could watch and see them. But the problem is when people root for somebody, they ignore shit. They ignore things. You know what I'm saying? To the point to where it's it's downright fucking it's downright psychotic. Like, so you mean to tell me you ain't see nothing wrong with that Errol Spence fight? Not nothing.
This is when they're gonna cry wolf. They're gonna cry wolf when Terrence Crawford is in a compromising position. Remember, they can only cry wolf when it's their fighter. If you imagine the first fight didn't go their way, they would have been crying wolf right now. They would have said, "Man, Errol Spence cheated. Errol Spence, you could look at his nipples." They so quick to say that. You could look at his nipples. They would have said that, man. They would have said there was no VADA testing. Errol Spence is on their juice. That when things don't go people's way, then they'll be so quick to say stuff. But with us, it's not even about going our way or not going our way. It's more of a thing of we're pointing out obvious facts. Like Spence didn't look durable. And one thing about him in every fight, if he's nothing, he's durable. Forget the performance. Let's talk about the durability. He's always that. He's always a durable fighter. Where was the durability? The lack of durability all of a sudden. Come on, man. That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
You gotta I have to remember I'm talking to beta males, and beta males they'll make their own reality to fit wherever they want to believe. At work, don't you see people get awards all the time and you know they don't deserve those awards that they cheated? Don't you see people get evaluations they don't deserve? Do you always say something about it? Have you ever been cheated out of evaluation you should have got? You ever been cheated out of promotion you should have got? Did you always say something about it? Don't you get put in predicaments where saying something about something is kind of more trouble than it's worth? I mean, what happened? What happened to Deontay Wilder? He spoke up. What happened to him? Did Tyson Fury get brought up on charges? You know, Tyson Fury can't even fight in the United States no more for cheating, right? Did that make news? No, you got to dig that up. You have to dig that up. So my thing is, I would have respect for Bud fans if they say Bud won, Spence signed up for what he signed up for, but I'll be honest, Spence ain't look the same. Fuck it. All right. I don't expect you to say everything that's obvious, but the Bud fans that are coming in here and trying to gaslight, you can't gaslight nobody like me. That shit don't work on no alpha. You can't gaslight no alpha male, man. What you think? You're gonna so that means Tyson Fury cheated. People who watch boxing know Tyson Fury cheated Deontay Wilder. We know that's facts. We know that's facts. But we also blame Deontay Wilder too because he had a corner around him that folded on him. Because that's typically what it comes down to. Because in the history of boxing, you have to dig all the way back a long time ago to where an actual sanctioning body caught anybody cheating because they allow people to cheat. All this shit is facts. When has a sanctioning body or the Nevada State Commission caught anybody cheating? They ain't catch Margarito cheating. You know who caught Margarito cheating? Shane Mosley caught Margarito.
Why does Al Heyman have to be the blame? I noticed this. When it's a promotional company that's a non-black person, Bob Arum or Eddie Hearn, and foul play happens, they're never to blame. But when it's Al Heyman, all of a sudden, Al Heyman is the blame. I mean, it's
Yeah,
very obvious to say
yeah.
why that's happening is because he's a black male.
Let me
And
and
here's the thing too, Ross, I have to say, because I have some of these people here in the comment section. They have basically sent DMs. This is how you could tell these guys are so used to not winning in anything in life. They've sent DMs through Instagram to Terrence Crawford and told Terrence Crawford, "Oh, if you see this content creator, you need to whoop his ass because he's saying that you're a cheater." And da, 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 da. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, is it that serious for you guys? First and foremost, I would not get in no street fight with Terrence Crawford. I'm not stupid, but I have a 50 caliber that will lift him up and make him go from where I'm at all the way to the other side of the street if he ever came close to me. I know that much. I'm not gonna get in no damn street fight with no damn boxer. Who the hell is gonna do some dumb shit like that? But it's just weird to me that people would sit there and think with their fucking brains and get to the point to where they would say, because he knows is not submitting, I'm not gonna ever submit to you. I'm gonna continue to drop the content that I'm gonna drop. Now, you should do yourself a favor and don't watch it so that you don't get an aneurysm, so that you don't get a heart attack, so that you don't get mad. But I'm gonna keep being on the position that I'm on. I just find it funny that people think that they could tell me to silence myself, or they could tell me, "Oh, you need to go away. You need to delete your channel." No, I'm not deleting shit. I'm gonna keep the foot on the necks. I'm going to tell you that Crawford cheated. I'm going to tell you his gloves was loaded and padded. And I'm going to tell you he's a PED fucking user. It's that fucking simple. Go ahead, Ross.
let me address something. Alpha speak about wherever the fuck they want to speak about. It's always alpha talk with alphas. And I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. I call myself an alpha because I am. Because I am. It's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And guns are legal. Guns are legal because you have the right to protect your property. And how else the fuck you gonna protect your property? Point blank. Period. That's why guns are legal. So you can protect yourself. So people can't come in and just take your shit. That's why guns are legal. But outside of that, what I realize is when you're dealing with a lot of feminine men, there's some women who are more masculine than men. There's some men.
D, and now shout outs to D. D is in here right now, and she's more masculine than all these men that are in here. Outside of the ones that are giving good comments, she's more masculine than them.
Um, Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Uh, Go ahead, man. I was finna say something, but
Here's the thing: people get scared when you when you make a definitive position. I'm gonna say it again, and I don't care what y'all think. I am not gonna get in no fist fight with Terrence Crawford. His hands are legitimate weapons, so I'm gonna use a weapon of mass destruction against him. I was in the service. You only fight weapon of mass destruction with weapon of mass destruction. So if he tries to come, throw his fist, it's gonna get blown the fuck up with a 50 cal. That's it. It's simple for me. I don't go into any fights losing. I'm always gonna go into a fight winning. It's very simple for me. So anyone that wants to sit there and say, "Well, we're gonna have Bud come over here," bring your ass over here. It's probably gonna be the last time he'll be in the last frontier. So I would advise you guys to not even think of those damn thoughts. Secondly, I'm gonna continue to say what I want to say, content creation wise, and at the same time, I'm gonna continue to speak my mind. Something was abnormal about the fight. Terrence Crawford never had that kind of power. Terrence Crawford had loaded and padded gloves, and Terrence Brooke Crawford is a PED user because he is with a well-known guy who has a history of PED doping in Victor Conte. You guys could easily research this stuff. There's a thing called Google nowadays. You can Google shit up. Even if you're a beta male, you can Google shit up and you can find history about it. You can find Victor Conte and Balco. You can find Victor Conte and Biogenesis, and you can find Victor Conte and Snack. And guess what you're going to find with Snack? You're going to find that there are some fishy shit going on with Snack with other fighters. And this is recent shit. So what am I saying? What is Ross saying that can't be quantified, calculated, verified, and certified? That's all I
D.
gotta say.
So you wasn't in here, but a lot of these Bud Crawford fans came out as bisexual in a live stream. Uh, they came out and saying Bud was going to win the fight because Bud dick was bigger. This is not this is not nothing made up. Many guys in here right now jumped on board with another guy who was picking Bud Crawford to win the fight because he said from his vantage point, Bud Crawford had the biggest dick. No cap. So a lot of these guys in here, the reason why they're not working, yeah, for real. The reason why they're not working with no logic is because this is emotionally based. Um, like I only could drive home a point personally, right? There was women who supported my erotica book because it was a good book. There was other women who supported it because they had heard something personal about me and wanted to know was it true, as far as size. And they had related me to the actual character in the book. So women be like size no matter. Women be cat. Women actually like size. But now I'm saying there's men who are like that too. There's men, especially Bud fans, who look at packages and decide that's who they're gonna they're gonna choose. Yes, in this live stream, there's men in here right now. They know who they are. They're the ones that's capping for Bud right now. There's men in here right now who are on board saying, yes, Bud looks like Bud's gonna win because Bud has the biggest dick. And Jada Anthony tried to call out Big Tyrone's name, but he was right there with Big Tyrone.
All of them was sitting there when he was saying it. They were quiet, and it was like they were listening to a choir that was singing. None of them was against him until we addressed it, and then they started saying, "Well, don't associate us with that." So it is what it is, man. That's a real thing that has happened consistently on lives. I think I've posted
Right.
community posts about it. Ross has posted community posts about it. So this is why you can't take me and Ross talk about this all the time. This is why I don't take commentators serious, because people in the comment section, they can be fickle with you at any given moment in time. When they don't hear what they want to hear, they automatically write you off. They automatically say this and say that. So you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. So when you're content creating, this is for anyone that is aspiring to be a content creator. I don't know. Me and Ross, we're actually preaching to ourselves when we say this. Just continue on doing what you do. It doesn't matter if people say, well, you have mental issues, you must have lost your money. First of all, I don't bet on no fights. I don't know why people would do some shit like that. There's too much priorities I have going on in life. Ross has too much priorities he got going on in life to be betting on the fight. The only thing I spent on that fight was to pay the money to watch the fight. So I laugh when people say, you must have lost all this money. I don't lose shit off of shit.
No, no,
I don't
no.
even follow these boxers like that, man. It's not that serious for me
No.
because I have a lot of shit going on in my personal life. But I did pay for the fight, and the outcome didn't happen the way that it needed to happen. But that's because the outcome wasn't a real outcome. It was a matrix outcome. It was an illusion. It was a fake fight. And I'm not going to sit here and give Terrence Crawford credit for two-time undisputed when his two-time undisputed is disputed. It's disputed in the sense of he had loaded and padded gloves. It's disputed in the sense that he's a PED user. And the fact that we can trace this back to his previous tune-up fight, the tune-up fighter, David Avocado was making noise about it. I want y'all to go back and look at post-fight. He was saying Terrence Crawford cheated. Nobody paid attention to him because his last name was Avocado.
Yeah, so the reason why they say that is because they wanted you to get off the topic of them actually looking at Bud's package. So that's the reason why they try to, oh, you guys are, it's called gaslighting, right? So gaslighting, they accuse you of being crazy or accuse you of not seeing what you actually saw. So what they did, they gaslighted you right now, bro. At the end of the day, I'm back on when y'all was talking about Bud Crawford's package. I'm back on that because that allows me to understand that what you say doesn't mean anything. What you say about this fight doesn't mean anything because you came in this fight sexually attracted to Bud. And being infatuated with a person will make you, it will make you overlook.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make you overlook a lot of bad things about them when you sexually infatuated with somebody. And that's what this is all about. That's the reason why you can't see the blatant shit.
Me and
Because
Ross
you're
have had
married.
years and years of this on YouTube because there was a first guy that not too long ago. Then he said Canelo was sexy. We've started seeing this trend
Yeah,
years ago. He said the
yeah,
reason why Canelo is dominant is because Canelo is sexy. I said, okay, ooh, where the
yeah.
hell did that come from?
And the same guy said he said Canelo was sexy, and he said Lomachenko was handsome. Like these guys don't just. We're not dealing with the straight testosterone filled men all the time. Some of these guys could have used some summers with their uncles, right? Some of these guys, daddies need to be in their life. A lot of these guys here are very, very feminine. Very, very. A lot of guys in here right now that's capping. A lot of guys in here right now was in the live stream siding with the dude talking about the dick packages. Yes. So what y'all say don't mean nothing. That's the reason why half the time when you comment on my channel, I don't even respect it enough to respond because I don't respond to beta males. I don't respond to men who look at men packages. I'm not the new school that accept that. I wasn't raised to accept things like that. I'm one of the men that's not gonna change with society. I don't accept it, so I don't honor you. I don't honor Jada Anthony. I don't honor none of y'all because y'all have came off very feminine to me. Well, you can't
I don't
acknowledge
honor no man with a feminine name. I just don't.
when you can't acknowledge certain truths because you feel like it's gonna make you look bad or make somebody you cool with look bad. Who does that? Men don't do that. You know how when you try to hold, when you try to hold a woman accountable, and not all women, but there's always that one group of women who ignore all the facts because they don't want a woman to be held accountable. That's how y'all acting right now. Because you know Errol Spence didn't look right. You know Errol Spence don't get hurt easily. You know that. You know Errol Spence don't be off balance the whole fight. Like the dude can't even keep his balance. When nobody was touching him, he couldn't keep his balance. Y'all know this. So for you to ignore it, it has to be some type of it has to be something more than just boxing. So when you look into infatuation, there's actual like chemicals that go on in the brain when people get infatuated. You know what I'm saying? And those chemicals will make you overlook a lot of things. So the fact that y'all think Bud got a big dick, this is the reason why y'all ignoring a lot of things. That's why y'all ignoring a lot of things. I was able to get away with a lot of things in relationships that other men can't.
Yep.
Because women were infatuated with that.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all give me the same vibes.
Yep.
Y'all give me the same vibes. Jada Anthony, you giving me the same vibes.
Yep. I mean, look at his profile pic. He got a pacifier in his mouth. That's overcompensating for a dick in the mouth. Because he's used to having a dick in the mouth all the time. So because he can't have a dick in the mouth, he puts a pacifier. That's what that is. It's coping. It's called a coping mechanism.
The same vibes, man. Y'all giving me the same vibes that you get when a woman, like when you got a homegirl, right? She steady calling you all the time. Talking about the nigga doing this, he doing that, blah, 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 blah. But you know when she hang up the phone, she's still gonna be with him because she infatuated with him and he ain't going nowhere until the infatuation wear off. Whatever he doing over there, she is enthralled with it. So while she complaining, she really don't want to see it, and she gonna make up a world where she can live with this dude, even though she know it's not right. She gonna make up a world where it is right mentally. That's what y'all doing.
A nerve was
That's what
touched.
y'all
A
doing.
nerve was touched with Jaden Anthony because he said, "Why are you focusing on that?" But here's the thing:
Why you got it in
studies
your
show,
mouth?
studies show that when a man has a pacifier in their mouth, women usually put pacifiers in their mouth. The reason why they put pacifiers in their mouth because their mouth is meant to always have something in it. So
I,
studies show that when you have
I'm
a
gonna be
feminine
honest.
name, And when you have a feminine name and you always have something in your mouth, that means you need to compensate for something that needs to be in your mouth. Since you're so used to like Jaden Smith getting screwed by other male artists and stuff like that. I forget the dude's name, but he used to be on the Kanye West's thing, but he's no longer there no more. Since you used to getting your back blown out, you have to compensate for the fact that you need to defend Terrence Crawford. See, let me explain what that's called. It's called bonding. When you have sex with someone and someone has basically inseminated you with their sperm, as a female, you bond with that person. So since you have a mangina, you are bonding with Terrence Crawford. So right now you're having what's called separation anxiety disorder. And the separation anxiety disorder is the simple fact that Terrence Crawford has not unloaded inside of you. So because of that, you're letting out your vitriol on us. How dare us not respect Terrence Crawford? How dare us not give Terrence Crawford credit? It's because Terrence Crawford hasn't unloaded inside of you. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's called separation anxiety disorder.
And right now they just capping right now. These guys in here that EJ was predictable, blah blah blah. If that's the case, he's always predictable. He ain't never looked like that, man. Bud don't hit hard like that. So, but the fact that you're creating this story to where Bud really got that power because you digmatized off the dick. I have many lady friends that call me all the time complaining. They be digmatized. I got friends who complain about me knowing they finna come chill. Digmatized. They gonna create a world to where I'm not that bad, even if I'm toxic. That's what y'all doing right now. Y'all creating a world. Y'all creating a world to where all this shit was normal.
Ross, you arousing him because see, he just responded and said, "Where's the proof? You ain't got none." You arousing him now. You're sexually arousing him right now.
The proof's in the pudding. There's a woman in here that knows it's a real thing. Listen, if you digmatize a woman, there'll be things that she won't really realize she never really liked about you until that shit wear off or until y'all break up or something. Then she'll be like, I don't even know why I fuck with him, blase, blase. Then all the stats come in like that nigga was never this, that nigga was that nigga ain't have shit. The reason why a nigga can sit and not have shit and be with a woman every day, because he killing her ass at night, man. That's why, boy. Y'all act like y'all been getting fucked by Bud. That's why y'all in here going crazy, defending another nigga. You think I'll be in a Bud Crawford live stream that Errol Spence supposedly won? Y'all ass over here going crazy trying to defend this dude.
Yeah, because Bud has so many motherfuckers he has to fuck in the ass that he hasn't gotten to them yet. So they're having what's called separation anxiety. You have to understand, Bud is a 2-time undisputed champion. So the fucking of the ass ratio has exponentially multiplied for him. So he can't get to your ass to rear end you right about now. So you have to wait in line. You got to wait in line.
Jaguar assassin, you got to understand. You got to understand, man. When you dealing with a men who can't acknowledge logic, and that's the thing. You have to separate. You can't just say women. You can say majority because there's like a secret society of women who could rationally have conversation and admit like they're wrong or admit logic, right? But when you deal with a feminine men and the majority of women, when they see you about to say some shit that make too much sense, the conversation finna change to something else. It got to change to something else.
Gaslight.
It got to change to something else because you making too much sense. You know what I'm saying? And then they latch on to something irrelevant to the topic.
Yep.
Not, in a sense, there's shit that's relevant, and there's words that just basically tie the shit together but aren't relevant. They'll start talking about you enunciated a word wrong. When you cook it with grease, a bitch will be like, that ain't even how you say that. Try to change the subject. So now you defending how you enunciate, and y'all not talking about the whole thing no more. You know what I'm saying?
It's called lacking accountability, man.
That's how these niggas moving.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving like that. Like niggas like women who seen a nigga with a big dick and now he can do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's how y'all moving, man.
I mean, we had one guy that blatantly said, and he thought me and you was like that too. He said, "You haven't meat checked." I thought all
And
men meat check, and we're like, meat fucking check. Who
you
doesn't meat
know,
check?
what's crazy? Only
Mm,
me and you and the Errol Spence fans said, "What the fuck is y'all talking about?" All the Bud
exactly.
fans, all the Bud fans was super quiet. Like
Mm-hmm.
basically, he said something he shouldn't have said. And then y'all came in to defend Buddy, man. Listen, y'all was super quiet when Buddy was talking about Bud Crawford's dick was significantly bigger than the Errol Spence.
Yep.
Because that's how y'all think too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how y'all think too. Because y'all are infatuated, man.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all be looking at niggas' packages. That that's the thing. When you
And
said, man,
Jaden
they ain't
Anthony said, you know what Jaden Anthony said when Big Tyrone said that? He said, really? And he put a whole bunch of question marks there because he was thinking in his mind, I need to replace the pacifier in my mouth with that.
no,
That's
no,
what
no,
he was thinking.
no, no. He was thinking, bro, you talking too much. So like you are revealing what this is really about. Like
No.
really, when somebody say something like they expose. You know what a girl feel like she exposed? She gonna look
Yep.
at you like, really? That's what he did.
Yep.
Like, really, dude? You let them know that we look at you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's facts. These niggas ain't here looking at Prince.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why nothing they say, anything they say, I automatically reject. Cause
Automatic.
a nigga who a nigga who openly look at another nigga dick print can't tell me nothing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that advanced,
Yeah.
right? I don't care that much about politics. You know what I mean? Those to me, those people could do whatever they want to do, long as they don't push it upon me.
Exactly. That's why
But
they defend Bud so much. They defend the fact they have to defend the package, man.
had to, had to. But think about it, y'all thought I
Telling me
forgot.
delete my channel, telling you delete your channel. You know why they saying that? Delete the. How dare you speak against Bud's package, man?
You got right. You
They're
got to
letting
understand one thing.
their vitriol on you, man.
When you're a man, there's only a level of fandom you'll go to, right? Me personally, bro, I'm not going to defend Errol Spence on nobody platform.
Nope, I ain't doing that shit.
It's going to be on my platform, and this is
Yep.
a shared platform when we do these lives. I ain't going
Mm-hmm.
nowhere to talk about Errol Spence. Blah, blah,
Mm-mm.
blah. I'm saying what I got to say on my side. I ain't going platform to platform to platform saying who said something good about Errol Spence and who said
Yeah,
something bad, man.
you got to really got nothing going on to be doing some shit like that.
You know what I mean? That's what your woman. That's what your woman say. When you drop a status, she all in the comments looking to see who said what, so she
I
could
think
jump down and be like, "Bitch, now don't ever talk to my man like that," or where you know him from, or blase blase. That's how y'all acting, like bros.
these guys, like Oxley, these guys are filled with moisture. I think D is more impressed with the way that I'm eating the chicken bones than you guys. Why are you focused on the way I'm eating my chicken bones? Like, you guys are filled with moisture, man.
You gotta understand, man. You gotta understand one thing. Small, minute details tell you everything you need to know. And sometimes a lot of people be capping. The majority of the shit they say is be lies. But if you listen to
Mhm.
somebody lie long enough, you know the truth. Why would you ever speak on how somebody eat, man? How a man eat? Why? Why
If
you
you're
care,
looking to
man?
subscribe, go ahead,
No, no,
go ahead,
no,
tell
no,
them.
no, 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 because I don't know nothing about dude. I might not want him to be a subscriber on my show.
All right, gotcha.
Any, any, any man sitting here talking about another man eating and his lips and shit like that, I don't even want that on my platform, bro. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers now, motherfuckers want to talk about the loss. Like, no, we own y'all looking at dick prints. We own that, man, because that
Yeah.
means everything you say after that is tied up
Mhm.
into it's tied up into your mental infatuation over another man, and it can't be
Yeah,
taken seriously.
exactly.
So now what you got to say about the fight don't even mean nothing.
Yeah.
It don't even mean nothing, man. If you're not admitting Errol Spence didn't look like his normal self, and Bud Crawford never had that type of power, and you can't at least admit that, what you got to say don't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah, because now we know you all about that dick print.
Right. But you got to say, yeah, but you got to say it don't mean nothing. It don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Because a true fan of somebody could don't only just care about them, but they'll hold them accountable too. And they could be honest, unless they're a fucking fanatic, like the actual meaning of the word. Because
Yeah.
fan is just a microcosm of the whole word fanatic. You're an
Hmm.
all out fanatic, then Bud can't do nothing wrong. And as far as you concerned, Bud Poston hurt him with every punch,
Yeah.
even though he never hurt nobody else with every punch.
So
He supposed to
Bud
hurt.
stopped his last 11 opponents, but was his last 11 opponents? Did they have to go to the hospital? Did they have to go get medevac checked right after the fight? Did they have to go and get screened? Come on, man. Stop the bullshit.
He stopped his last 11 fight. Who he fought his last fights, man? Who
Jose
are these
Benavidez was
guys?
right there doing Creed 3. He looked like he had all his faculties together and everything. I don't even want to hear this nonsense, man. But Earl Spence is all damaged and beat up and all of this. Y'all
Who?
really love Terrence Crawford's sausage, man.
Right. My thing is, notice they'll say 11 fighters. They'll never write the names
Yep.
because B-level fighters supposed to get stopped. And
Yep.
And we know Porter didn't get stopped. Porter was fully functioning when they stopped that fight. But this what I knew. Bud fans were gonna be delusional. When Bud fans were talking about that Spence stopped, when they were saying when Bud fans were saying that he stopped Porter, I knew they was delusional. And those punches wouldn't even hit him Porter. Porter just fell down.
Exactly.
He
and for
moved.
motherfuckers to say, Jose Benavidez is better than Earl Spence, come on, man. When Earl Spence stopped them in sparring, stop the bullshit. Motherfuckers be making me laugh, man. All of a sudden, Terrence Crawford is this super fighter, and Earl Spence is now what? Overrated? Y'all really sipping the fucking tea. You know what I want, Ross? You know exactly what I want, so I'm gonna say it live. I want y'all to keep that same energy when Spence knocks out Terrence Crawford. These motherfuckers, you see how they talking cash money right now? I'm gonna tell you right now, Ross, they gonna disappear, bro.
They
They
won't even be on there.
they're not gonna
They're
face the
not gonna be
music.
on here.
They gonna
They're not
do
gonna be
what
on
they
here.
tell you to do. You know how they tell you delete your channel? They gonna delete themselves from commenting.
They're not gonna be on here, and they're not gonna be Bud fans after that because this is the reason why. This is the reason why, bro.
It's so
You have
true.
to always be on your shit, and you have to always be willing, if need be, to fuck somebody up. Because if you with a chick and she see you get the shit beat out of you, she won't be able to look at you the same.
Yep.
That feminine, because she gonna be like, you can't protect me no more. You ain't that alpha. So
Yep.
if Errol Spence beat the shot of Bud Crawford, these niggas not even gonna be Bud Crawford fans after that.
No, they're not. They're gonna say
Because
Bud is old.
no, the fantasy is over. They won't be sexually aroused by him no more.
Nah, but you know what they're gonna say. You know what they're gonna say, Ross. They're gonna say, you see all the shit that we said about Terrence Crawford? They're gonna say that shit. They're gonna say, man, Earl, I don't care what anybody tell me, man. Earl had how did he perform the way he did in the first fight, but then all of a sudden he beat Terrence Crawford Earl on something.
All
They
that's
don't
gonna be
know that
capped.
shit. Earl on something.
All that's gonna be capped because they can't say what they really want to say.
Exactly.
What they really want to say is he don't do it for me no more. I no longer look at him the same no more.
The
I'm not
JJ get dry.
aroused. I'm not aroused by him anymore. That's what they really want to say.
No more moisture.
So they're gonna say things like they're gonna say shit that don't make sense. Like where Errol Spence did have power. What you should be asking was where's Errol Spence power the last fight?
Exactly.
How Errol Spence taking his punches off. He supposed to be took his punches the last fight.
And I think everybody could agree with this. The believable outcome of this fight should have been Earl Spence should have been punishing Terrence Crawford for most of the fight. This is how you could believe a Terrence Crawford win. Terrence Crawford is supposed to have a puncher's chance. So Errol Spence is punishing him all the way up until 8th or 9th rounds. And then Terrence Crawford out of nowhere throws some wild ass haymaker. And then Spence gets caught because he overreached or he overdid this. That would have been believable. Because in this fight, Terrence Crawford was only supposed to have a puncher's chance. But guess what? That is not what happened. So that's why the fight is not believable. Because the guy who's supposed to be the aggressor wasn't even the aggressor. The guy who supposedly starts fast didn't even start fast. Like everything that was supposed to happen in the fight didn't happen. It was the opposite way. Terrence Crawford is known. You don't change that after 40 fights. He's known to start slow. All of a sudden he could start fast. Come on, man. That's that super soldier serum. Because sometimes when you get that cocktail make you do a little something strange.
And this another thing that feminine men will do. They will create a straw man argument and say you said something you didn't even say.
Yep.
And they'll argue that vice of what you're saying. Out of everything you said, they'll say some shit like, I thought you said Bud didn't have power. Nobody said Bud didn't have power. We said Bud don't have that type of power that was displayed in the last fight. Because that was the case.
I could have sworn I was watching Deontay Wilder. Shit.
If that was the case, he would do that to everybody else he fought.
Yeah.
Why did nobody else look like that against Bud?
Which boxer did you think he was? Did you think he was Tank? I thought he was Deontay Wilder. I was like, what the fuck? Am I watching Deontay Wilder hitting somebody? Like the only Deontay Wilder could hit you like that and make your body go like I mean, Spence's body was doing some kind of movement and convulsion. Just it wasn't natural. So I said to myself, this motherfucker don't got no Deontay Wilder power. So how is this happening? Oh, them gloves might be loaded. Oh, he might be on that damn Captain America type shit. That's what it is. Because it's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's not natural.
And this is the reason why I don't respect Bud. Most Bud fans I don't respect. And definitely got no respect for none of them in this channel. It's because you can't admit that Errol Spence didn't look right before that fight in the ring walk. You can't admit that. You can't admit that you never seen Errol Spence get hurt like that. You can't admit that.
Yep.
You can't admit that Errol Spence didn't look strong in the fight. You're saying everything was normal?
Errol Spence been in there with bigger guys. Kell Brook. And he took a lot of shots from Kell Brook. Sean Porter. Phone booth fight. I've never seen his face look like that. Go look at his face with Sean Porter. But now all of a sudden his face looks like his rear-ended with Terrence Crawford. Come on, man. Stop. So and I've seen Terrence Crawford's opponent's face at the end of the fight. They don't look like that.
So you mean to tell me PBC was matchmaking Errol Spence for all the champions at welterweight, but Top Rank wasn't matchmaking Terrence Crawford fights?
Exactly.
Nothing you say makes sense. You can't argue with me because you're arguing from emotions. Your dick hard thinking about another man. Mine isn't. So I can speak rationally because I am not turned on by this conversation.
Yep.
But the very fact that you're saying Errol Spence's fights were match made and Crawford's wasn't, when Errol Spence actually beat 3 champions to take their belts.
Exactly.
Who match makes with champions?
This is the most fire comment I've seen here. He said, Bud fans are some of the most fanatical and disingenuous fans I've ever encountered. They have zero integrity and they want to win at all costs. That is facts.
They're like LeBron James fans. LeBron James fans don't give a fuck if he played with a whole Olympic team.
Yep.
The only thing they care about is if he get 26 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and they win the championship. And if they lose, it's everybody else's fault. But LeBron.
Yep.
That's what Bud Crawford fans is. Logic don't matter. Long as they can see Bud package, long as they're turned on by his V-taper. Because a lot of y'all say y'all boxing Eagle fans. And we know how he talk. Calling yourself Eagle Army. Over here, we don't look at V-tapers of men. We don't look at difference. And we're not turned on. Logic is logic. You can't admit the logic of the fight, then then anything you say after that doesn't mean anything. It's inconsequential if you can't admit that Errol Spence wasn't himself in that fight.
And I love this comment here. It says Bud got to keep that power in the next fight, or it's going to look fishy. I mean, that's obvious. It's obvious.
Listen, man.
And it's gonna be fishy, and it's gonna be fishy when he shows that power again, because guess what? He's never shown that power. Either way, he's fucked. Either
Listen,
way.
listen. It's not gonna look fishy. It already is fishy.
There you go.
Are y'all understanding what the fuck we saying?
Yep.
You don't just all of a sudden become another fighter.
Nope.
You don't all of a sudden become another fighter. That don't happen. There's not a trainer in the world that can make you something that you're not. They can find two things to make you better at what you already are.
Yep.
You don't just become Ivan Drago.
Yep.
Overnight.
Yep.
Unless you own some shit. Unless you cheating.
Facts.
You don't. Someone who rarely gets hurt in the fight, if at all, you don't hurt with every punch.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to accept that as the truth, it means you're one of those weak motherfuckers.
Yep. Well
said. It don't matter who I like. If they do some shit I feel like it's cap, but out of pocket, I'm going to say something.
Yep. You got to expose them.
I'm going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something. Well, Floyd Mayweather is a very egotistical person.
Yep.
And so when they got to the point where sometimes it felt like Floyd, to me, felt like he was going to be forgotten. He's never going to be forgotten. So he was trying to hold on to that shit when he could have let it go. I was calling out Floyd, and that's my favorite fighter.
Yep.
Because I don't worship Floyd Mayweather.
I called him out on that shit too.
I don't worship Floyd Mayweather. It don't matter if Bud landed 80% of his fucking power punches, man. Yep. Bud never hit that hard.
Never.
To where he hurt anyone with everything he throws. Never.
Yep. Never.
He went tooth and nail with Jeff Warren.
Yep.
Tooth and nail with Benavidez. It took a Herculean performance for him to get rid of Gamboa. If he hit like that, he supposed to have killed Gamboa. Well, why isn't Gamboa dead right now? If he could punch that hard to hurt Errol Spence with everything, why is Gamboa still walking around? Shouldn't he be dead?
Bud is never. Floyd has never been dropped by a Mean Machine, so that comparison is horrible.
Yeah. So what are you talking about, man? What y'all talking? The thing is, y'all have to realize that because y'all are fighting with your sexuality and struggling, so you can't see the truth. Don't mean we are. Gamboa, if Bud is who Bud supposed to be, then Gamboa was never supposed to be in no fight with Bud. If he can hit hard enough, if he can hit that hard, then he's supposed to kill Gamboa.
Yep.
Vader just busted Dillian White. Why didn't they catch Bud? Because there was no Vader. Bud did not want Vader.
He didn't want Vader.
That's why.
And guess who advised him? Guess who advised him for no Vader? Victor Conte. And you know what's interesting? Victor Conte was in his corner fight night. So I'm not surprised, man. I'm not fucking surprised.
It don't matter. A lot of people got high KO rates. They don't hit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because point me to another fight where Bud did somebody like that, where they look like that. Who else he do like that?
People keep saying Bud stopped his last 11 opponents, but you do realize before that first fight, Spence's KO percentage was 2% higher than Bud's overall, and this was against welterweights. So again, like when y'all keep saying last 11 fights, why y'all don't just say last 40 fights? Because in the last 40 fights, he performed completely different. Why y'all don't talk about the Jose Benavidez fight? Bud, man, fans, they never want to talk about Bud's hand in the cookie jar. Why don't y'all talk about the Gamboa fight? Why don't y'all talk about the Mean Machine fight? Y'all never talk about those fights. Never.
Nope. every WBC fight ain't VADA tested. Obviously, because this last one wasn't VADA tested. It's all over the fucking news. And y'all
Yep.
take Bud Crawford dick out of y'all minds.
Yep.
He was supposed to stop those guys. Anybody's supposed to stop those guys. That's easy. But you don't go from fighting B-level fighters like Avanes and barely stopping them to hitting
Here's the
to
thing, Rob.
hurting.
Let's hold him accountable real quick. If Terrence Crawford comes out, because these things do happen in boxing. Sometimes boxing does it right. If Terrence Crawford comes out and tests positive for performance enhancement drugs, what are y'all gonna say? I want to know what y'all got to say in the comment section. Y'all find out that Bud tested positive for performance enhancement drugs. Will you give that winner credit? That's what I want to know.
No,
I'm
I'm gonna tell you what they're
right
gonna
now.
do.
Will you give that win credit?
See, even you not listening to me, they're not gonna give credit because they're feminine. This had nothing to do with boxing. They actually sexually attracted to Bud. As long as
I'm
they're
doing that
sexually
on purpose.
attracted to
I'm
him,
doing that on purpose because I know they're gonna avoid the question. I know they're gonna avoid it.
Yeah, as long as they're sexually attracted to him, there will be no accountability.
Yep.
There will be no accountability as long as they're sexually attracted to him, man.
Notice
Whenever
how
they say,
quiet they are. Notice
whenever
how
they say,
quiet they are. Notice they don't have a response. They can't answer that question. They just can't answer it.
they're not gonna answer it. Because if Bud comes out, it'll be another excuse.
Mm-hmm.
It will just be another excuse. Even right now, they're going around the conversation and just saying whatever they want to say. That's the reason that's the reason I reject anything. Nothing they say matters because they're not men to me.
Yep.
They're not men to me. If you can't
They
acknowledge
they just proved that shit right now.
you can't acknowledge the other side's points that are the truth, then you're not a man to me. Jaden Ethel is not a man to me.
Yeah.
Mamba Mafioso is not a man to me. These niggas aren't men. So I don't so whatever they say don't mean shit to me. It's not worth even addressing. To me personally, they don't even fucking exist. Anytime you think it's cool to talk about a man's dick, you're not a man to me. You're just not. Anytime you see Errol Spence fight Mikey, then you see him stop somebody like Ugas, and you say he couldn't stop Mikey, you ain't a man to me because you're not admitting the fact that he wasn't trying to stop Mikey.
Exactly.
And the fact that you're not admitting that, and you're just saying he didn't stop Mikey, but he stopped somebody way better than Mikey. you're not debating. You're not debating in good faith. You're not a man.
Yep.
Whenever you said I need to see documents that he cheated, who the fuck gonna send you documents? Who are you?
Exactly.
You can tell somebody cheated based off their prior performances.
I think you need to say that one again because these people actually think they're important.
They're nobody. You ain't nothing but a package watcher, a penis. You're a penis speaker. You don't exist to real men. You exist to Black Lives Matter. The alphabet community. You don't exist to men like me. They're not gonna send you shit. You'll never see documents that say Bud cheated. But the fact that you need them and you can't see it with your own eyes, you can't see it with your own eyes that this dude has never performed like this in his life. And you don't understand the difference between movies and real life that only happens in the movies where a nigga work out for 6 months and now he hit harder than heavyweights.
If you can't see that, then something's wrong with you. And then whenever your strong man argument is, nah, I'm more of a man than you, you're basically doing projection and saying that you're more feminine, actually.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh man.
When you argue in good faith, It's a word called touche. And so when someone makes a point that you know that there's logic behind it, even though you don't want to admit it, because you might have a narrative you want to push and it's fucking your narrative up. Sometimes you gotta say touche.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I can't really argue that. Even if it's something you don't want to believe, it's not
Yeah.
about how you feel. It's about what actually happened. There's no way in hell that you thought that was a real fight. You were just happy to see your favorite fighter win, and you
Exactly.
know if you admit the truth that it
Yep.
takes away from that win.
Yep.
So your throat won't allow you to speak those words because it's too full of Terrence Crawford dick. So you can't speak those words. You're busy. You're busy.
Woo.
But anybody who's not sexually attracted to Bud, who's not emotionally connected to Bud, could say, you know what, Bud won. Errol Spence signed up for that. He know he shouldn't have fought at 147. If he was weight drained, so
Yeah.
what? But he did. But he didn't look how he normally looks. He never gets hurt like that.
Yeah.
And when he came in the fight looking like he was drugged. If you can't admit those truths, then
Yep.
everything you say after that don't mean a goddamn thing.
Real man. Hey, here's the thing. What fighter you know, Ross? Tell me this. In every fight that you watched, when it happens on even playing field, what fight have you watched where fighters, as soon as the fight is over, they don't want those gloves, they want those gloves off? Bud had the gloves on the whole damn time. They didn't take that shit off until once he went all the way backstage to get that shit taken off. The first thing fighters want when they're done fighting is they want those gloves off because they want the
Whether
freedom to be able to move around and to talk if they got to talk, to do whatever. If they got to jump up in the ring to say I won, they want the freedom to do that. Why the hell did this motherfucker keep those gloves on all the way until he got into the back of the locker room?
you know what's crazy?
Mm,
Bud fans think that their opinion really matters. Like if they say somebody is crazy, that that means that's an insult. You thinking
mm-hmm,
somebody is crazy is actually a fucking compliment because y'all live in your own world. So if I'm normal to a Bud fan,
mm-hmm.
that's not a good thing. I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be what y'all. Y'all think look at that nigga's dicks is normal. Y'all think y'all think sitting around here and ignoring obvious facts is normal just because they don't go with your narrative.
Yeah.
Y'all think that motherfuckers get power, heavyweight power from a 147 frame.
Yep.
If y'all watch boxing like I say y'all do, y'all know the fighter don't even be having a choice whether he want the gloves cut off or not. They be wanting the gloves cut off right away so they can take them.
Yep.
So the sanctioning body is supposed to take them and make sure that they were straight. They're supposed to get them right away, right after the fight.
Yep.
Why they ain't get Buzz gloves?
It's it.
You
He
never seen
kept
a
his
fight like
fucking
that.
gloves on, man.
You never seen a fight like that. And all your time
Yep.
watching fights. Why is all this shit? Why is all this shit in one fight happen that you've never seen before?
Exactly.
Who the fuck keep their gloves all the way on, all the way until they get back to the Western Land? Who does that?
Exactly.
You never seen that before. Because the
Yep.
sanctioning bodies are right there with the plastic to get the gloves so they could go look at them.
Exactly. So they failed. Basically, what Ross is saying is they even turned a blind eye to doing their job.
Everybody associated with this fight fucked up in a major way.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you can't admit that shows
Yep.
that you're the type of person who will do that too.
Yep.
You'll cheat too if nobody looking. You don't have to
Man,
tell me.
you talking to motherfuckers that'll take any kind of win. So to them, this is a win. Even with it being flunky as hell, fluky as hell, to them, a win is a win no matter how they get it. It's ridiculous.
Hold on, what you mean they don't check gloves anymore? That's not the truth. That's not in the rule book. They're supposed to check
Right.
all the gloves before and
Supposed to check
after the
all of
fight.
them.
They might not check them. They might be turning a blind eye, but they're supposed to be.
Yep.
Y'all gotta You shouldn't even be on this boxing life if you don't understand the rules of boxing.
Yep.
That's not the truth. The WBC, the WBO, the IBF,
Yep.
and the WBA supposed to have a representative in there. Whatever belts are being fought over, there should be a
Yep.
representative in there washing their hands.
Yep.
The Nevada State Commission supposed to be in there washing their hands, get wrapped, and checking the gloves.
Yep.
Everybody's supposed to be in there.
Everybody.
So that means motherfuckers didn't do their jobs, man.
Man, they
That's what
sat
that
on this shit.
means.
They
That's what
sat
that
on this
means.
shit. They said, you know what? There's money to be made. We wanna eclipse the news that MMA is getting. So we gonna sit on this shit. Cause look, it all worked out in their favor. Cause what has everybody been talking about since the fight? They've been talking about Spence versus Crawford. And I'm talking about all genres of entertainment is still talking about this and talking about we can't wait until the rematch. You
And,
go
th-
on
and this,
ESPN, ESPN don't even talk boxing like that.
yeah.
They talking about fucking boxing every second they get. You hear Stephen A. Smith. I have never heard Stephen A. Smith unless a fight is happening. He's covering football and he's like, man, did you see the Spence versus Crawford fight? That's what they wanted, man. They wanted that shit to be in people's mouths. And they got exactly what they wanted. So everybody turned a blind eye. Because now y'all gonna get the rematch in December. And guess what? This fight hasn't even died down yet. So that means the second fight is gonna do double the numbers. Then y'all gonna get a third fight, and that fight's gonna do triple the numbers. This fight right here did 1 more million at the gate than Floyd Mayweather versus Shane Mosley. So right there, that kind of gives you an idea of what these next two fights are gonna look like. And y'all need to sit there and pay attention to what's going on. If people are being honest about it, they can see that it's bigger than all of this hoopla and nonsense. It's about everybody like, you know what? We got to get paid. We got to get this check. And we don't care if it's going to be at the liability or if the sacrifice of a fighter's life. And that's where boxing becomes a fucking problem. When
You know what
when
I
you're
think
talking
is
about
funny?
things of that nature.
I think it's funny that Bud Crawford fans give their opinions as if people really give a fuck, man. It's so funny. We all know y'all all gonna say the same thing.
Exactly.
Isn't that you don't get no original thought from a Bud Crawford fan. Y'all all say the same thing because y'all all want the same thing.
Exactly.
Y'all
Dick
all
in the
want
mouth.
that package.
Dick in the ass.
Y'all all say so. Y'all all say the same thing. You don't get no original thoughts. So why the fuck we care?
Yeah.
Why the fuck? Why the fuck would we care what y'all think?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all don't have any individual thought. You think
Yeah.
it's delusional? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a fuck? Because everything come out your mouth is just another narrative. It's another irrelevant, another facetious question. It's not no truth. You're not going to acknowledge any truth. It's
Yeah.
like talking to a ratchet ass woman who don't keep accountability of herself.
Yeah.
They don't
I knew
give
you couldn't take
no.
these dudes seriously when they come to your platform and tell you, I'm going to tell Bud on you, and Bud is going to handle you. Okay, Bud. Unlike you, I'm a man. So if a man think that he gonna come handle me, he's gonna get handled. You, on the
Right.
other hand, you want him to handle you. So that's different. You want to be manhandled. So that's why you
Yeah.
go and tell him. You want to go tell your man and his sausage and his package, I need you to handle him. And I saw that shit on Instagram where he tagged Bud. I think it's this dude that keeps commenting here. He's tagged Bud on there and said, Bud, like kind of like you was like his side bitch or some shit like that. Bud,
Yeah.
he's talking shit about you. You need to take care of him. And I'm sitting there looking at this shit like, okay. That
Oh, that's what you
shit
talking
was
about.
funny as fuck, man.
Like, what
Like, okay,
that what scare me, bro?
yeah,
At the end of the day, motherfuckers still cheated.
exactly.
And people act like when it's their fighter, all of a sudden, there's no cheating in boxing all of a sudden when it's their fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But the sport of boxing has a long history of motherfuckers cheating and nobody don't stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to stop Maidana. None of the sanction bodies said there was anything wrong with those gloves.
Exactly.
They said those gloves were straight. Floyd Mayweather had to say, man, it won't be no fight if you wear those gloves.
Yeah.
They would the sanctioning bodies wasn't going to do a damn thing about Maidana cheating because they don't care about these fighters.
You damn right. This second time around, there's gonna be vital testing and the gloves are gonna get checked. And that's gonna be the clear indicator. Me and Ross are gonna be looking at this shit, shaking each other's heads like, okay, yeah. What Ross just said on this live is exactly what the fuck happened. Everybody purposefully dropped the damn ball. So how come they can do vital testing and gloves for the second one, but they couldn't do it for the first one? How come Terrence Crawford could walk? Because he did that in the David Avocado fight too. Now thinking about it, that's exactly what happened. He did not take his gloves off at the end of that fucking fight. Had his gloves taken off in the fucking back of the locker room. Like, come on, man. How does Terrence Crawford get away with shit like this, man?
Easy. He got a delusional fan base. Yep. So if the only questions are coming from the opposite side, it looks like sour grapes. They only can do this when fans have delusional fan bases. Tyson Fury got a delusional fan base who they're never going to admit that he cheated. Manny Pacquiao had a delusional fan base. But when your fan, like Errol Spence can't cheat.
Yep.
His fan base is too real. They will call him out. Say Errol Spence cheated, man.
Yep.
That's the Errol Spence.
He got a moniker. He got a moniker that makes him can't cheat too. It's called The Truth. His moniker by default sets him up to not be like that.
You got to understand, man. The reason why they spawn is because they've been getting Bud Dick and they spawning. I don't respect none of these guys, man. Like these guys are all fun boys to me, man. Nothing they say, I respect. I respect nothing they say because they didn't come here and they did not debate in good faith.
On good faith. Mm-hmm.
They ain't debating in good faith. They just made their own narratives and made their own arguments to argue against. People like that I don't honor. I don't know what everybody else. I'm from Chicago, man. We are very different.
Yeah.
If you can't admit certain things as obvious, then I don't respect you at all, man. So nothing they say means nothing to me. Nothing, man. You know what I mean? Nothing they say means nothing to me. As far as I'm concerned, they ain't nothing but some fun boys, man. I don't have no respect for them at all.
And you shouldn't.
At all, because they couldn't even admit certain truths.
Yep.
Like they couldn't even admit certain truths that was obvious. And when you look at that fight,
the level of disrespect from them motherfuckers, man.
And when you look at that fight, Errol Spence went through some of the same thing that Margarita went through.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at those fights. It's like it's the same thing. He reacted the same way.
Yep.
Dark Kent, guess what? What you say means nothing. All that shit, nobody cares, man. Because you a fun boy. That shit not even worth responding to. That shit, you're even responding to that. You a lame, man, at the end of the day. Because you didn't admit the truth that we laid out. And as long as you ignore that and you keep coming up with some other narrative, you're going to get ignored. Just like I ignore business. If you don't deal with me on the up and up and talk logic, I don't deal with you. Man or woman. Man or woman. You take it as disrespect if you want. I don't deal with nobody because that's a very mischievous, a very manipulative spirit on you, man.
Facts.
Men know how to talk about hard truths. Know how to talk about shit we rather not talk about. We admit certain things. Like, you know what? Like, man, I hate to admit it, but the fact that you try to act like none of that happened and everything's on the up and up and Bud just got this miraculous power means nothing you say means nothing.
It means absolutely shit.
No, mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all might as well stop even typing. Nothing y'all saying means shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then if you a Canelo cocksucker, you really can't say nothing.
Didn't Canelo get a PhD ass whooping by Floyd Mayweather? Didn't Dimitri Bivol drug him?
But you gotta ask. You gotta understand. If you when you're a Canelo fan, that means you're no better than the Buck. Canelo's known for cheating.
Exactly.
He's known for cheating too.
Exactly.
But his fans don't admit that. And
Mm-hmm.
when you can't debate in good faith, um, Buddy said he was leaving, but yeah, he's back. You gotta understand. As long as Harris Crawford being talked about, his dick's still gonna stay hard. It's gonna stay hard at the end of the day.
People
But
talking about Errol Spence losing a fake illusion, the Matrix type of fight. But we know Canelo lost a credible fight against a Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was basically not even 150 pounds, and he was beating the shit out of a guy that weighed 172 pounds that night. That was embarrassing. You got over 20 something plus pounds on the person, and you getting the shit beaten out of you to the point where Floyd even looked at the damn ring, was like, "What the fuck are you punching?" And then Dimitri Bivol uses Canelo's face like he's a fucking human pinata to the point where Canelo thought it was fucking WWE.
and that's
So when
another thing.
Canelo gets embarrassed like that, you don't have no room to talk.
And that's
No
another
room to
thing.
fucking talk.
People who built their channels around Canelo, they're barely coming out their hole since this fight. They've been MIA since Canelo, since Canelo took that loss. They've been MIA. And now they and now like IBFP. I forgot dude had a platform. Now all of a sudden he coming on my channel commenting like, bro, did you make a new platform?
Exactly.
Like, where you been?
When his platform was fired, he didn't need to have to come to channels, right? Channels had to go to him. The reason why he's coming to channels and begging is because he don't got Canelo to talk about. It's the same thing with Monty Brown. Monty Brown started hurting when Canelo got fucked because he couldn't say Canelo said, Canelo did, Canelo is, Canelo
Right,
that. You couldn't say none of that bullshit.
right, right, right. But did Canelo cheat?
Mm,
Did Canelo
mm,
cheat? That's the question.
mm,
Did he cheat?
because we
Because
got that. We got it documented that he's been on that clean.
right,
We got that
because
documented.
you can't act like you care about cheating all of a sudden.
When
All
your
of a sudden, you
fighter
know,
is a known cheater, like these some arguments you just leave that shit alone, man.
my well, Jada Anthony don't understand this. Nothing you say matters. No, nothing you say matters.
We got a pacifier in his mouth.
Yeah, no,
He
nothing
just
you say
want to.
matters.
It's a
Nobody,
coping mechanism to put a dick in the mouth, man.
you know what I'm saying? But you know what's crazy? Because you were the same one saying that Canelo didn't cheat.
Mm-hmm.
That you then when the proof came out, you was like, nah, they tested his hair. The proof ain't the proof.
Yep.
So listen, y'all don't really care about cheating or none of that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You care about your narrative. That's why like your platform fell the fuck off. And if Canelo don't win this fight against Charlo by knockout,
Oh, you're gonna be hurting. Your platform really gonna be hurting because you
he
ain't got
didn't
no
win by
Canelo to carry
knockout.
you.
Dudes coming up two weight classes to fight Canelo.
Yep.
If Canelo can't stop him, Canelo is overrated.
Yeah, he's overrated. He's supposed to stop him.
You
I got
supposed to,
Canelo by stoppage, and if Canelo don't stop him, he's overrated.
you supposed
I'm
to
sorry.
walk. You supposed to walk right through Charlo.
He's supposed to dog walk him easy.
You supposed to walk right through Charlo. Now Charlo is supposed to look in this fight how Spence looked
Yep.
against Terrence Crawford. That's what we
Yep.
should be expecting to see in this fight. And
Yep.
if he don't look like that, then you know that shit was Bud Crawford was fake.
Yep.
This motherfucker was fighting at 175. Dude
Yep.
only fought at 154. If he don't
Yep.
make him look like that, you know that shit was fake what we just saw.
Exactly.
You
You
know it's
know what
fake.
I noticed? You know what I noticed? When your first name is Jaden, you go from one dick in the mouth to the next dick in the mouth. That's what you do. A motherfucker named Jaden always got some shit in their mouth, man. They
You
can't
gotta,
help it.
you gotta understand. But IBFP don't understand that he's playing himself by saying get him data. You have to do a reconnaissance before you come on here and start jumping on somebody bandwagon
Yeah,
because you don't know their history. You
yeah.
have
If
to
you knew
know
his
these
history, you
guys.
wouldn't be saying that.
Hold on, you gotta know these guys are tied into saying shit like they choose Bud because Bud like he got the bigger dick. These are the guys you come here cheering on. So are
Yep.
you? So IBFP, are you a dick watcher too?
Woo, shit.
Nigga, I show my face. When you gonna show your face?
And we know he's
Someone
black.
who
That's
never
why.
showed their face can speak about somebody's hairline.
If he show his face, I already know what he look like. If he show his face, it's over for him, man. His channel is done. It'll be done tomorrow because his
Yeah,
ass is black.
you gotta understand. You black and you suck Canelo's dick. So when they find out you black, your channel over with. That's why you don't show your face. So nothing you say about me, my hairline don't mean a goddamn thing.
It don't mean shit.
It don't mean nothing.
And
Because you're not
he
even.
was the one. He was the one that gave. I'm glad he did that because he been hurting ever since. He was the one that gave Monty Brown the advice to Ruxay talk Canelo. And look at Monty Brown too, just like you, hurting like a motherfucker. I know you're gonna get mad because I spilled the beans, but I had to say it. Yeah, I advised Monty Brown to talk Canelo because Spence ain't where it's at. And look at Monty right now. That dude look like he trying to crawl out of a hole. He can't crawl out of.
And the crazy thing about it is, I know he hated that he did that because Monty Brown took all his fans.
Yep.
Yeah, Monty
Yeah,
Brown
he
took your
did.
fans
You
because
know,
Monty
you know
Brown.
what? It's funny to say that he did take all your. Why did you even give him advice? It's like he took all your shit.
Because you gotta understand one thing. You gotta understand one thing. It's one thing when you think somebody's black and they're on your side, but they all gravitate to Monty Brown because that's what Monty Brown do. He got more balls. Monty Brown show his face.
Yeah, exactly.
So they got a face to a name. Like, look, this is a nigga saying this about the King Canelo. And when they had that,
They didn't need you no
they
more.
ran away from your platform. That's why your platform been trashed ever since. Your platform been trashed. I done made 3 or 4 platforms. Got the 5, 10, 20, 30, 20 bands. And your platform has been flat ever since.
Boy.
That's why you ain't right now. You ain't never used to come in here. You all on my this dude on my every video commenting.
I gotta pump my chest a
No,
little bit too.
fuck a rematch. We own this shit right here. You ain't nothing but a Canelo dick sucker.
I gotta pump my chest too. Your channel hasn't rebounded since Mikey Garcia. All you had to do was admit that Mikey Garcia was not the Mexican Mayweather, and you would have rebounded. But boy, you wanted to be stubborn like a motherfucker, man. No, man, I'm not going to admit. And since then, your integrity, I mean, people should have known that you was a Canelo fan. Your integrity has been questioned every fucking since.
You gotta understand what it's only so far somebody's gonna be able to follow you when you don't show your face.
Exactly.
And you're talking boxing though. You're not talking like inspirational quotes and shit. Like there's a lot of faceless YouTube channels doing bands, right? You got the channels that got the sleeping music.
Yeah.
You never see no face, but you actually doing actual content and you never show your face. How far you think people gonna follow you, man?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you might as well be an AI, man.
And your voice is not even fire like that. Your voice is not fire like that. So you got to show your face.
You don't realize it's like when you don't exist really, you might say, "Oh, they're not talking about what I want them to talk about." You're commenting, but nobody cares. Like life don't change because you get on the internet. People don't care in real life about what you gotta say, but we don't care about what you gotta say in here, man.
Exactly.
It don't change. You still a lame in here.
I damn sure don't care when your first name is Jaden, a feminine name, and I secondly don't care if you got a pacifier in your damn mouth?
Like,
If you're not
nah.
a baby, why the fuck you got a pacifier in your mouth?
And guess what? You can't come in here. You can't come here and dictate nothing we talk about. So we was talking boxing, and y'all wasn't debating in good faith. Y'all
Yep.
was ignoring actual facts. Y'all said
Yep.
Errol Spence looked perfect in that fight. Nothing
Yeah,
was
you
wrong
did.
with Errol Spence. Soon as y'all said that, the boxing, that conversation went out the window. Now we got to talk about how much dick y'all got in y'all throat. Because the boxing conversation out the window, y'all still straight sucking Bud dick now.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all might as well be Timothy Bradley, man.
Man, listen, it's not even Bud, bro. They just hate Spence so much. They wanted to see the alpha lose, man. That's what it was. Let's be honest. That's what they wanted to see, man. They give a fuck about no Bud. Because let's be honest, when Bud was low key looking like he was gonna duck the Spence fight, even this motherfucker sent me a message. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Terrence Crawford, he's ducking Errol Spence, man, for this tune-up fight. And all of a sudden, you on Bud's dick. Come on, man. They don't like Bud like that. They
You got
hate Errol Spence.
you got to understand. I can't honor nobody who's afraid to show their face, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you got just an initial for your avatar, stop talking to me, bro. If you got acronyms and shit, nigga don't know who you is, bro. There's too much anonymity in that. You can
Yep.
say anything.
Yep.
You sitting back in your shit and you sucking on a pacifier. Stop talking to me, man. Stop doing that. We not the same.
Exactly.
We not the same. That's why your channel ain't gonna never be nothing. That's why you fell
Yep.
off. People got tired of looking at that lame ass logo.
And they got tired. They got tired of the fact that you don't accept accountability, man. Listen, man, you should have never debated me. I ruined you. From that moment on, you was ruined. I told you was gonna get ruined. You've been ruined ever since. Because all you had to do when we was talking, you DM me, I DM you back. I say, you know what's gonna save your channel? If you admit to the world that I won. That's all you had to do. And then you came back, oh, I ain't gonna fucking admit. I ain't gonna fucking admit. And I say, you know what? From that point on, it's gonna be downhill for you. And then what happened? It's been downhill for you ever fucking since.
And who does that? Women do that, man, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Women know you right and won't admit you right and shit. Break
Yep.
up with you and do all the shit you said with another nigga out of pride.
Yep.
That's what you acting like a broad. When you know somebody right and say, I ain't going to admit you right, you a broad at that point, man. You might as well have a pussy between your legs, man. You might as well. You might as well. No, some women don't. Majority do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on the side where you don't, you are in an elite group. And an elite means not that big.
Exactly.
You are in a set aside group, but the majority of y'all do that, man. No accountability whatsoever. But you're not expected to have. I don't expect no woman to have accountability on with.
Yep.
Just don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't never
Pretty
expect
much.
them to admit they wrong. I just know that they manipulative when they don't.
Yep.
But I don't expect that. I expect men to admit they wrong. And when you can't,
Yeah. Yep.
at that point, you beneath me, boy. All y'all Bud
Yep.
fans beneath me, man.
Yep.
All y'all beneath me. You beneath me too, man. You come here and talk about
Mm-hmm.
Priest Jada. Did you know Jada be looking at dick prints? You
I
would
knew
tell
that was
Eddie Long
coming.
to
I knew
preach.
that was coming. Woo.
You would
Oh
tell
my
Eddie.
god.
You would tell Eddie Long to preach.
Yeah.
You would tell Eddie Long to preach.
Yeah.
There's men in the Eddie Long church. You should be like, preach, pastor.
Mm.
You would tell him to preach because you get down like that too, man. Y'all
Yeah.
know this dude connected to Victor Conte, and nobody see a problem with that to the point where y'all just going to ignore that.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
that's why no matter what you say, it don't mean nothing.
But if
Because
but if
people
Earl
argue.
if Earl was with Victor Conte or if Earl was taking some shit, they'd be first to point it out. Oh,
First, he
Earl's
pointed
on
out,
something.
and that's why
He's
what
on
you say.
something.
That's why what you say don't mean nothing, man. That's the reason like your
Hmm.
channel trash right now because you don't keep it a buck. If you kept it a buck, you would say something ain't right about this fight. And
Yep.
Why Bud connected with Conti?
Yep.
That's his facts. Conti is a PED creator,
Yep.
and you 16. Why you even on here? You talking to grown
Yeah,
man?
because I've already turned down anybody 18 or under. I've already put that in the notification. You're not supposed to be listening
Yeah, bro, get him. And you know
in.
what? It's understandable he said the stupid shit he said.
Yep.
He only 16 years old.
Exactly.
Not old. That's why he sounds stupid as fuck. He's not. He just haven't lived life. He's just a kid.
Yep.
You shouldn't be here. Yeah, bro. He shouldn't be in here.
Yeah, you shouldn't be in here, man.
Nah,
And
you can
and,
show.
and,
You can
and it's
confirm who he
documented.
is.
It's documented now. It's documented now that we said that. So
Yeah, yeah. You shouldn't even be here. This is grown
yeah,
man
because
stuff.
my notifications always say 18 and older. So my material is not for people that are under 18. So that explains a lot. But you know, I think you need to do yourself a favor and just leave, man.
Well, he ain't gonna leave. You gonna have to get him out of here. Like
Nah.
that makes yeah that makes sense, man. That makes totally sense. But IBFP, whatever, you're a grown ass man.
Yeah, I gotta
And you
ban
talking
you
about Priest Jada. You need to stop, man.
because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to fuck my metrics up. I don't want to mess my metrics up. Next thing you know, they're gonna say I'm co-signing underage people that are questionable already, as is. He's in a pivotal stage of his life right now where he's questioning his sexuality. So you know, and then on top of that, you listen to boxing and all this other stuff, man. I had to get you out of there.
Um, I got one question. What is Blu-ray? How is Blu-ray gonna help Errol Spence take punches from loaded gloves?
Exactly. Or PED use.
If he go back to Blu-ray, that's fine. It,
Yeah,
right,
I'm
right.
okay with that if he does that. But how's that gonna help him against a guy that's cheating?
But
I want
how's
you
that
to
gonna
answer
help
that
him?
question.
How's that gonna help him take punches from loaded gloves?
Yeah, or PED use. Like that sounds stupid when people say dumb shit. If a person cheats, it don't matter who your strength and conditioning coach is, they still gonna knock you the fuck out. They
Right.
got
You know what
loaded
I'm
padded
saying?
gloves
You
and they're doing PEDs. There's no amount of strength and conditioning that can save you from that shit.
you could have 6% body fat. If I hit your ass in the head with a brick,
It's over.
it's over with, boy.
Exactly.
That shit don't mean nothing. If we in a fight and I got one brick in one hand, one brick in another hand, and I'm throwing hooks at your ass, I'm gonna win. I don't care who you with.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fuck is you talking about?
If anything, having the 6% body fat pushes you in more of a liability because you got less on your body. Like you would want to have more on your body to protect yourself more. I don't know. That's what I would think. Yeah,
Yeah.
those gloves were filled with plaster, man. It was Margarito and Cotto all over again. That shit looked just like Margarito and Cotto.
But you gotta understand one thing. He's a fan of a fighter who's a cheater. So
Yep,
what he say don't mean nothing to him either.
exactly.
He don't get no pass because he got a platform that used to be respected.
Yep,
Boy, what you saying? He don't mean a goddamn
it
thing.
don't mean
You
shit.
a, you a Canelo fan,
Yeah,
so of course you don't see nothing wrong with this fight. Canelo ain't
you
fought.
haven't.
Canelo ain't fought an up and up fight since fucking since Lara, man. Every
He
fight been
hasn't
some type of catch
rebounded. He
weight.
hasn't rebounded since Canelo hasn't rebounded. Once Canelo got exposed by Bivol, Canelo has taken a big hit, man. Nobody, if I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it, Canelo was like trending like nobody's attention, like nobody's business. Then once he got exposed by Bivol, then everybody started making him the butt of jokes because then he fought this other cab driver and John Ryder. And what happened? That dude said Canelo's overrated. His power is overrated. He couldn't even stop me. You let a cab driver in your own hometown in Guadalajara, Mexico, stand up post fight. You supposed to knock his ass out, and he tells you that you're overrated. I thought I was gonna get more from Canelo. I thought he had power. He didn't have power. He's overrated. That is about the biggest disrespect ever in your home fucking town, man.
If Canelo can't get a weight, if he can't get a rehydration clause or a catch weight, then he can't really compete with nobody. Really.
Yep.
That's why in this fight right here, if he don't stop Charlo in this fight, Canelo was always overrated.
Mm-hmm.
He was always overrated.
Exactly, D. Bud would get his flowers if this was legitimate, and legitimate in the sense of both fighters fight the way we know both fighters are supposed to fight. Bud is supposed to start slow. Bud is not supposed to show dynamite power. He's supposed to show snappy power. Bud is supposed to be getting touched up in the first half of the fight. None of that happened. Spence is supposed to be the aggressor. Spence is supposed to put pressure on you the whole fight. Spence is not fighting like he's fighting like off of his toes. Spence is fighting very sturdy.
Yeah.
Spence is being durable. These are the things that were supposed to happen in the fight. Those things did not happen. So they're just everything about that fight is suspect.
And this is the thing right here. You don't gotta answer no questions coming from a nigga named IBFP. Because the fact that he even asking that question lets you know he's not debating in good faith.
Exactly.
You mean tell me Errol Spence look normal?
Exactly.
How's the Bud not cheat?
Yep.
Since when Bud hit anybody and hurt him with every punch?
From the first round.
The way if y'all believe that's really Bud, that means Bud supposed to have killing niggas at 135 and 140.
Since
He can
when
hit
has
like
a
that.
fighter from round one shown punching resistance to where they got somebody's face splattering blood from round one? Come on, man. That's red flags.
Yeah, like come on, man. The fact that you even asked that question, Victor Conte confirmed via several media outlets that both Spence and Crawford underwent 8 weeks of stringent VADA. Victor Conte can't confirm the goddamn thing. Nothing he say is it could be held with any type of esteem
And
or
the
any
fact
type
that
of
you mentioned
credibility.
Victor Conte and credibility, that is about the funniest thing ever in my life. Victor Conte is the epitome of nothing credible. So why are you mentioning him?
Because they don't understand integrity. That's why.
Woo,
They
shit.
think anybody who says anything that they agree with is a credible source. Every source ain't reliable and credible, dude. A dude who's been caught cheating on the highest level of all sports cannot then speak out about who's clean. Do y'all understand what credible, what integrity is, morals is, and who can
Exactly.
speak on whose behalf? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, no, no, that's like motherfucking Mike Tyson trying to speak on fighters need to be more disciplined. These champions need to be more disciplined, not live such wild lives. When Mike Tyson is not, when he's not the example of discipline in his fighting career, he can't say that. Floyd Mayweather could say that. That's a credible source. Mike Tyson cannot say that. So Conti talking about PEDs and VADA testing. Do you really think he's telling the truth?
Oh, I got something for IBFP. This fight right here proved what I was telling you when I said Spence is the face of boxing and not Canelo. Because why would all of these sanctioning bodies and all these people that are generating so much money from this fight, why would they not turn a blind eye? Why would they do a protest to the Nevada State Commission? Have they ever done this for Canelo's fights? Canelo's a guy that goes in, makes money, and leaves. I told you Spence was the face of boxing because what fight is everyone talking about? What fight has broken Mayweather level money at a fucking gate? It's Spence. Canelo doesn't have no fight in his history that he has done numbers at the gate that's even comparable to any Mayweather fights. So this is what I was trying to tell you when I told you Earl Spence is the face of boxing because you can go by how the guy generates income for the fight. If you go listen to the audience, 75% of the people that was in the audience were Spence fans to the 25% of Crawford. This is what I was trying to tell you. Now the next fight is probably going to be comparable to Mayweather and De La Hoya. And then the third fight is going to be comparable to Mayweather and Pacquiao. Things Canelo never in his natural born life could ever do. This is why Richard Schaefer said we left the Mayweather era and we ushered into the Spence era. Never said Canelo era. Never said anybody else. He said Spence era. Now you understand why. Because what is the fight everyone talking about right now? Spence versus Crawford. Nobody give a fuck about anything else.
Damn, and you know what's crazy? I'm glad we did this live because this live solidified to me that I was going about this wrong as far
Mhm.
as every man don't deserve the respect of being heard out.
Yep.
Every all because you're a male don't mean we on the same level. Like I tend to give everybody like a certain level of respect. Well, I'm starting to realize that some men don't. Some men are beneath me. Some men are beneath me. Some men are not worth speaking to. Some men should get ignored and treated like little bitches. They deserve that. Like even responding to the shit they gotta say. Like nah, they should get ignored. Just like when she having a little hissy fit and going
Mhm.
out their way to have a little attitude and saying shit that don't make no sense. How you ignore that? Some men deserve to get treated like that too. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like what you say don't mean anything.
Yep.
You're a kid. You're a child, man.
Yep.
You ain't
But
shit to be.
You know what I loved about this? Because it proved what we was talking about. And this is how you could tell Canelo's not the face of boxing. Ryan Garcia made 30 million against Tank. So what does that say about Canelo and his 30 million that he makes? I mean, if Ryan Garcia could make $30 million, does that mean Canelo's the face of boxing? I wonder how much Tank made in that damn fight.
If Canelo was black, he wouldn't even be no Canelo. He wouldn't even be no Canelo fan.
Oh my gosh.
He only was representing Canelo because Canelo had that rabid fan base that was
Hmm.
just thirsty to hear anybody say anything positive about him.
Facts.
This dude don't get. He don't really believe in Canelo. This dude, he's spineless. He don't believe in Canelo, man. Because if he did, he would have never went underground when Canelo took that loss and got
Yep.
whooped.
Yep.
Canelo got whooped. Look very bad, man.
Bivol beat the shit out of him, boy. I
He
love
got
that
whooped
fight.
very bad, and that's how
Woo.
you look. That's how you look when you get hit by power you're not really used to, but
Yes.
it's clean power and the blood's
Yes.
not loaded. That's how you look. Not like how Spence was looking,
And
getting
it
hurt.
was credible. It was credible.
That's how you look when you get hit by power you can't really take, and you in there
Exactly.
and you get pumped. That's how you supposed to look. Not Spence
You
like
supposed
he
to
was.
try to turn into a WWE fighter.
Spence like he was, Spence like he was getting hit with a non-lethal object, like a blunt object. That's how he looked.
Yep.
Like he was getting hit with like a brick or like brass knuckles or some shit.
Hmm.
That's how you look, man. That, but it's supposed to like how if Crawford really hit like that, it should have looked how Canelo looked when he was getting that ass whooped.
Yep.
It should have looked like that.
Not this artificial thing where Spence all of a sudden face looked like it was completely restructured, like reconstructed. Like what happens, man? I've seen Spence fight Kell Brook. I've seen Kell Brook land so many face shots on this dude. I've seen Sean Porter land so many face shots on Spence. We see what Spence's face looked like at the end of the Sean Porter fight. And Sean Porter landed so many fucking punches on him. But then at the end of this fight, this guy has his eyes all swelled up. He can't see halfway through his eyes. He looked like his face is just a completely different person. Come on, man. That's bullshit. And anyone that can't see that,
Man, we ain't even
you need to
talking
be
about
helped.
we ain't even talking about Benavidez. The real Charlo stops Canelo.
Yep.
David Benavidez stopped Canelo.
Yeah, Jamal Charlo stop Canelo all day,
Yeah,
every day.
the guy that he ducked for undisputed. Andre outplays him easy. Canelo
Easy.
always been easy work.
Easy work.
Easy work. He's a media concoction, man.
Yep.
Only delusional motherfuckers believe Canelo really like that.
Yep.
If you like that, you will fight at a weight class.
Exactly.
You try to fight Badu Jack for the cruiserweight belt at light heavyweight.
Exactly.
Canelo been the only nigga not never fighting at a real weight class.
That's how he moves.
This nigga, look, this how dirty he is. He's fighting everybody else at 152.
Hmm.
Because even when he's at 154, he never was fighting people at 154. He is weight draining them then. He had his own weight class at 154, 152. He's fighting everybody at 152. So when the Floyd Mayweather fight happened, He tried to turn it around and say Floyd Mayweather drained him. You fighting everybody
Yep.
else at 152.
Yep.
And now that you getting up with Floyd, now you want to weigh in at the real 154? Nah. Fight Floyd at 152 like you fought Laura and all them boys.
Block your channel. Who block your channel for? The hell you talking about? We too busy talking on this damn live to be blocking people's shit. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm gonna tell you this much though. D says, see, Charlo needs to watch out for corruption too. Listen, Charlo is that loudmouth nigga that they love to silence. So I already know what's gonna happen to him. They gonna silence him through Canelo Alvarez. Mel shouldn't have taken that damn fight. They looking to silence him quick, fast, in a hurry, like UPS. They looking for that shit.
Jamal Charlo already been silenced. They use his brother to silence him.
Yep.
His brother is the type of black male they want.
Yep.
Don't give a fuck about nobody but himself. Very emotional. He don't even give a fuck about his own brother, right? Why would he take that fight?
Yep.
And if you're talking about Jamel, Canelo's not supposed to have to cheat Jamel Charlo to beat him. He already making him come up 2 weight classes.
Yep.
Well, what else do you need?
You know, Canelo, he gonna throw an extra clause in that motherfucker just to make sure he secure a win. You know how he worked. He did that with Amir Khan. This is how overrated he is. He made Amir Khan go up 2 weight classes and 1 pound. He said, "Fuck you, no, we're not doing it 154. We're doing 155."
Right, but he wouldn't even fight. He wouldn't even fight people at 154 at 154.
Exactly.
Everything about Canelo has been smoking. And anybody who get behind that just lack integrity, man. And nothing they say don't mean shit to me.
Exactly. Yeah. How you made somebody go up 2 weight classes and a pound, dog? That's how you was scared of him like that?
That's what I tell you is if you're a certain type of fighter, they'll let you get away with anything.
Yep.
They wouldn't let Floyd do no shit like that. When you black, you really gotta be nice. Unless you with that system. Unless you're on that Bud Crawford shit.
And let's be honest, Amir Khan has never been the same since that Canelo ass whooping. Because Canelo drugged that motherfucker.
and that's one thing about IBFP. I knew once he came, the Mexicans gonna be right behind him. I knew once he came, the Mexicans, they're gonna be right behind him talking about Mikey.
Yep.
That's how much say Mikey retired, man.
Yeah, Earl retired him, properly retired him.
Yeah, last time I checked, Mikey retired, man.
Mikey made an official statement. He said Earl retired me. So what are y'all talking about, man?
Yeah. But last time I checked, Mikey got retired.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers talk about Bud got followers. Bud never did more than 150,000 pay-per-view. He got a lot of followers, but he don't got no paying customers.
Who gave him an actual paycheck? I think it was a guy by the name of Errol Spence. They gave him an actual real paycheck. A first real paycheck.
Look, these motherfuckers sound stupid. Do you know when you fight an actual competition, you don't knock everybody out?
Exactly.
You don't know that, do you?
Woo.
You don't know that.
They're using IBFP weak ass soundbite. Oh my gosh!
It's only when you.
It's like these boxing fans haven't grown up. They still giving us the same talking points from 2019, man. Have y'all motherfuckers grown up? Like what the hell? Like if you fight real competition, you're supposed to not be stopping people. Knockouts don't sustain you.
You expected too much from these motherfuckers, like I told you, man. Anybody that's infatuated with another man to where they speak on their genitalia, ain't nothing logical. Nothing logical will come out their mouth because their mind ain't even wired that way.
Yeah.
They're in a fantasy land. These motherfuckers actually believe Bud was actually stopping real competition.
And motherfuckers use the most inflammatory statements that are untrue. Bud retired Earl. How? They gonna fight a bilateral rematch in December. So how do you retire them? They fighting in December. How do you retire them? Like
You know,
people say some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life, man.
the thing is, man, a lot of these people really nobody even care about what the fuck they got to say in their own house, man. We're really giving people
Mm,
who nobody cares about. We're giving them shit that they'll never get in real life, and really,
mm.
we should be ashamed of ourselves. These people should be getting ignored, man. Just like they mamas ignore them. When you're a real man and you speak and with all the family together, you start talking, niggas be quiet.
Yeah,
But nobody stop talking when they talk in their households, man.
I feel
They
like
bitch,
I'm making fun of them.
right. They bitch be like, whatever, nigga.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The kids don't stop. Kids do whatever the fuck they want. Don't nobody respect these motherfuckers in real life, man.
but here's the thing: we making so much fun of them because that's how it is. When people know you got that sauce and they know you fire, you can make fun of them as much as you want. They gonna keep coming. They gonna keep coming back. They gonna keep commenting. You've been grilling these motherfuckers all the whole platform. That's why they still around because they love to be grilled, man. That's what it is. They getting out the popcorns. They eating. They enjoying the fucking show, man, because it's pure fucking entertainment.
And people don't understand. It's a psychological thing. Like there's women like this. They call them brats.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman who's a brat, she does things purposely that she know you don't like, so she can be disciplined. Y'all
Yep.
niggas act like bras for real, man. Y'all come on here and say shit out of pocket so you can get checked
Yep.
by a man.
Yep.
By a man, like y'all brats, man. That's what the type of look it up. There's women who they do shit like that so they can be disciplined or they can
Yeah.
be put in their place. Y'all come here saying the most dumbest shit in the world so a nigga can check you.
Mm-hmm.
Because other than that, you get no real interaction in real life. Nobody even acknowledges you exist.
Exactly.
So you go platform to platform looking for people you control and finally get some type of human interaction.
Mm-hmm. the internet creates that, man. Because let's be honest, outside the internet, who's checking for these motherfuckers? Let's be honest. And here's the thing that makes me laugh. They think that their comments are so fire. Like when I hear the dumbest shit like delete your channel in your channel. Okay. Okay. In my channel. Okay. All right.
That
Do you
a motherfucker with no platform who nobody who nobody cared to hear speak, always telling you what you should say and how much they know more than you.
exactly.
If that's the case, make a platform, motherfucker. Let's see.
And you know what they tell you behind the scenes? Because I've done this with people before. You've done it, Ross. You know what they tell you? Man, I don't have time. It's so hard to just do a channel or whatever. Then shut
Right.
the fuck up.
Yeah, be quiet, man. Be quiet
Then shut the fuck up.
because if you do what you thought you know, you wouldn't be on this bitch. You'll be somewhere on your own platform.
Exactly. But you know nobody want to watch your boring tired ass.
If don't nobody care about what you say in real life, they're not gonna care about what you say on your platform. That's why you here. That's why you here to get some
Exactly.
attention. You want to get disciplined.
Ooh.
You want to get disciplined, man. But I only spank women. I don't spank men.
Yep.
I don't spank men, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You made it this age. You didn't get. That's your father's fault, man. You know what I mean? Y'all motherfuckers come here because y'all want to get put in y'all place like
Yep.
some brides, man. And who does that? Just saying shit just to get checked. Saying outlandish shit. These niggas say the most outlandish shit so somebody can check them. It's gonna get to the point where nothing you say is gonna get addressed. When you come in here, it's gonna be like you just talking to yourself. But Buddy got roasted so hard he would have logged into the other platform. I'd be a raw boxer.
Hey, here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. They keep commenting about random shit because again, this pure fucking entertainment. This is the thing I always get with haters. females, these betas, whatever. They want to give you credit, but they don't give you credit, and they thinking giving you credit is their attention instead of just saying, "Man, you got that sauce, man. That shit fire." Like dudes that really rock with our shit, be like, "Man, y'all are really good. Y'all know what y'all doing." But them, they just want to say all kinds of outlandish shit. Your engagement, your time and your energy on the platform tells us by default you like what you hear. And anybody with sense knows that. Otherwise, you would be spending your time and energy somewhere else. It's that simple.
Yes, indeed, man. And then they comment so much that they drown out the comments from the real motherfuckers.
Yep.
Like, man, get lost, man. Like, like, take your name. That's the thing. Sometimes people project.
Yep.
They'll name themselves something that people just be telling them all the time.
Yeah.
Motherfucker be like, motherfucker tell you to get lost everywhere you go. Then you want to come on here and act like you found yourself. Like, listen, man, you can't come on here and find yourself on here. Your opinion, you haven't found your voice yet. Not on here. You still you still looking for your voice. So don't think because somebody responded to you, it's all for the sake of content. You still don't have a voice, and nothing you say really matters. You're just being used for content.
And that's why they got those names like that for real. Get they probably
Jaguar assassin, all right, bro.
Ooh, they probably told all the motherfuckers, get the fuck out of here, get lost.
Yeah, right.
He's like, oh, let me name myself that because I gotta get lost from every platform.
You gotta think about it. Think how weak you are. You're a person who never boxed a day in your life. You see something not right in a fight,
Ooh.
and you celebrate that win, even though the win looks suspect.
Yep.
Think about what's going on in your mental and your moral for you to celebrate that. It means you never won anything in your life. You don't even know what's supposed to be celebrated or not.
Yep.
That's like seeing your team win and you know they obviously cheated. As a man, you gonna be like, yo, that shit was cricket, man.
Mm-hmm.
But when you celebrate like it was on the up and up, it's because you're a punk and you never won nothing in your life for real.
Yep.
It's the only thing you can celebrate because nothing in your life is going right. So this low key, this to highlight a lot of these niggas' days coming here and getting checked by us. Y'all better not be beating off to me, man.
Yeah, don't beat off, man.
Y'all better not be beating off to me, man. Cause y'all coming here to get put in y'all place like little daddy's girls. Doing little shit on purpose so you could get fussed at. Doing shit on purpose and look and see if you go get saying stupid shit on purpose. Nigga be typing shit like, man, wait till I get this out. Wait till I get this out. Let's see what they're gonna say. If you can call my name, let me say something else. Can't say shit about that one.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That nigga said my name again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what listen. Y'all doing all that just to get a nigga attention? Get a life, man. Get a life.
Yep.
The proof was the fight. Errol Spence never reacted to no punches like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he constantly spars bigger guys. Never reacted like that. Terrence Crawford never hit nobody and they reacted like that before Errol Spence. So that's the proof. If you actually watching the fight and not just rooting for somebody to lose, you will see that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing YouTube people don't understand in the comments, that your medical diagnosis of people don't matter. Nobody gives a fuck about who you think is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about who you think should have 100,000 subs. Do you got 100,000 subs?
Exactly.
If you don't got it, you shouldn't be talking about it.
Exactly.
Why did you talk about subs when you ain't got no platform? Like niggas be trying to say something slick to you, you gotta apply to them. Like,
Exactly.
bro, you don't got one sub. The motherfucker be like, go to the dentist, like, show your face.
Hmm.
Show your face.
Hmm.
How can you talk about somebody else's face? You don't even show yours.
Exactly.
That don't even make sense.
He's in a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. One day somebody gonna expose him too. It's gonna be one of these motherfuckers you put on the panel. Then they gonna be like, man, they gonna come in there, hack your shit, and show his fucking face. I'll be looking forward to that day when I see a channel to show up from nowhere and say, I know who IBFP is. Look at his face. That day, woo, me and Ross probably gonna have a live where we just roast you. That's why he didn't show his face. That's why he didn't show his face all this time.
Guys who feel they're handsome
Woo.
always show their face, man.
Yep.
They gonna have an avatar. They're
Yep.
not gonna have no initial and shit.
Yep.
They can always show their face. When you know you ugly as a motherfucker, you gonna be behind an initial. You know what I mean?
Wait, somebody already did. Who already showed his face? Hmm. It must have not done numbers because that shit would have been all over YouTube. If me and Ross would have touched it, it would have been all over YouTube. Yeah, it would have been all over YouTube. So I don't know what you talking about, man. That dude has got two L's from me, so I don't know. Maybe
Nah,
maybe I'm maybe
nah,
maybe
he's trolling. He's trolling.
yeah.
He's trolling. At this point, we got like two real niggas left, and the rest just trolls.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they're trolls.
yeah. So hey
Yeah.
man, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah, we've been pushing this shit about 3. So anything else you want to say, man?
Nah, I said all I gotta say, man. At the end of the day,
Oh, okay.
you got alphas and you got niggas who don't nobody give a fuck, not even their family. That come
Yeah,
on
it's
here,
true.
they come on here for attention.
Yep.
They might as
Yep.
well wear panties, man.
Yeah, that's about right. It's been real. It's been easy. Peace.